Welcome to the most horsepowerful podcast on the internet, the Xbox Drive. Before we get this show on the road, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and ring that bell on YouTube, and leave a 5-star rating or review on your podcatcher of choice. If you want to continue the conversation after the show, make sure you join the Carpool Gaming Discord. For exclusive content and all the Carpool shows in one simple feed, head over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Finally, head over to carpoolgaming.com for all of your merch needs. Now, with all that out of the way, you better buckle up, Buttercup, because it's time for the Xbox Drive.
Greater than X.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Xbox Drive. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Friday or whenever you're listening to this. It is I, Fiona, here live, not dead, which last week... last week I was very sick, and I did sound horrendous. So I was not, I apologize. I was just very sick last week, so I appreciate everyone being cool with me taking the week off.
We did the show.
How dare you leave when there's clearly 3 other people that were competent enough to do the show without you? I mean, how dare you put us in such a predicament?
I mean, all we did was completely change the format of the show. It's fine.
100% without you. Yeah.
Oh, it's fine.
Without your input, we're good.
I'm just here to hang out with some great friends and talk about all things video games, and also talk about the fact that Sean doesn't have a beard anymore. No face scrub anymore.
I guess I normally would have a little bit more face scrubble on a Friday, because I really only shave on like Monday.
Yeah.
But I did recently clean up a little bit. Yeah. Thanks for
Sean,
noticing. Wow.
You're welcome. How are you doing, Sean?
Well, I'm in a hotel room in Calgary, Alberta. And I got the playoffs going on the TV right there. I've got internet that appears to be working. I did mess up the intro just a little bit though, because I'm not used to this setup. I'm trying to do it all on a laptop, and it's, you know what? We're doing the dang thing. I'm using the headset that I used to use when I recorded the show in a car, so that's kind of fun. And I got my webcam kind of like jerry-rigged up to the thing that's actually containing all my coffee and sweeteners and stuff. So we make it work. It's Friday night, and hopefully my internet holds up with you guys.
I'm not going to lie, you look like you're supposed to be working in a call center right now with that headset. That's very much a call center headset. So I feel like you're about to greet someone and help them with their
Hopefully I can help you with whatever you got today. Yeah, you can. We'll send you a text message, and you can fill out a survey afterwards.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Can I be honest with you, though, Fee? I called TELUS Mobility. This is a Canadian mobile carrier. I had great customer service from TELUS this week, so shout out to them. I'm saving a boatload. Saving a boatload, you guys, on my monthly bill. Very good. Very good. Shout out to TELUS.
I'm going to have to do the same thing.
I
did it with my internet this week, and I saved some money. I got to
call your internet provider. Yeah.
Call your internet provider, guys. If you're like, man, I've been with my internet provider for years, call their loyalty department. Ask for loyalty.
Ask for loyalty.
Exactly.
I work for one of those companies. I don't work for loyalty, though, but I work for one of
man.
those companies. Yeah.
I literally did the
don't work in
thing.
that department.
I was like, look, I don't want to do the thing where I have to say I'm going to leave, and then I'm going to like hang up, and then you're like, don't leave. Like, can we just like skip all that? And it actually worked. I'm like, I don't want to have to go to somewhere. I've done that before. I didn't like going there. I don't want to do that. Can you just like try to, help me out here? And it did. So shout out to TELUS.
The one tip I always told people, set up a disconnect for a later date. Like, full on. Go, cool. I want you to disconnect my service at the end of the month, because I'm going to switch.
Oh, you play chicken with them.
And typically when they have those like pending work orders to close out people's accounts, they call those people back. Why you're leaving? Oh. And they hit you with that good offer. Yeah. Yeah.
Just give everybody the good offer.
Hey, company I work for, don't fire me. Thanks.
Wow. Speaking of that, Mitch, how are you doing this week?
I'm good. It's been a while since I've shaved too. Like, it's been like 5 years or something since I've like shaved. So, yeah. I mean, I don't even know what my chin looks like anymore. I haven't seen my chin since probably high school. So that's okay. No, I'm good. Work's over for the week. We're good. Sean looks 12. It's very true. It's crazy how much facial hair like literally ages you, right? Like if I got rid of mine, you would imagine I'm younger. And
You'd be a toddler.
I'm still an old man. I found gray hairs in my beard. I definitely pulled those.
Oh
out.
yeah, there's grays for sure.
Oh
on
my
chin.
god, dude. It was like aggressive too. Like if I looked like it was just so prominent, I'm like, that's what I get for having this awesome webcam, right? This awesome 4K camera. It just
Picking up
points
all
out
the detail.
The grays are aggressive. And then I had to do that thing in the mirror because I'm not used to pulling hair out where I had little tweezers and I was like, just couldn't do it. I don't know how like women do this with their eyes and stuff, like pluck it. No, I'd be blind. I would have stabbed myself 100 times. But yeah,
5 minutes.
had to get rid of those grays. What happened?
The F-bombs.
I swore? No, I didn't.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right, Fee?
Did I? No, okay.
I think so.
We're fine.
No,
it's cool.
Sorry, everybody.
It's all right.
sorry.
Bowser, let me go ahead and stop talking. Bowser, how was your week?
Well, apparently I'm even older because I found a white eyelash, which I didn't even know happened. I ran out to the living room and looked at my husband. I was like, let me see your eyelashes. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, yeah, you got white ones too.
Eyelash.
Man, I guess this is normal.
Wow.
Like eyebrows, I get. You see it. But eyelashes. What about nostril hair? Well, nose hair, just like
I'm sure
I'll
those
have to
laying
look
on up
next
there.
time.
Ear hair?
I'm not that old yet.
Be
I
good.
haven't hit that yet, have I?
No, just me.
No, that's a Sean thing.
Okay, cool.
Don't worry,
try
your
to take
face is
care
all
of it
sorts of
here and
smooth
then.
now. You ain't got to worry about it now. It's all gone.
I'll take care of it in the hotel room. I don't have to clean up the mess afterwards. I'll just
There you go.
yeah. That's
Be
awful,
nice.
isn't it?
Somebody
It's
has to clean
awful.
that up. Don't be rude, Sean.
I clean it up. Like it's
He's
fine.
like, someone has to clean this up. Throws a whole full soda against the wall. Like,
Yeah,
someone's
I
got to
don't-
clean it up.
I don't have to worry about the plumbing though, at least, so that's good. But anyway.
Yikes.
Well.
Yikes. It's okay. But yeah, we're
We
here.
didn't change the whole format of the show, by the way. Obviously, we're gonna just like mess around for the first 2 hours, and then eventually we'll answer some questions, probably. But
Nah,
we didn't
probably
really.
not.
We have a random thumbnail on the YouTube video. That's the only difference. We have a Fallout themed. We do what we want. Fee put an emoji on with the, I think it's my dad's emoji actually with the sunglasses. My dad loves that one. He signs off with that one.
I use that one all the time.
Yeah, that's
Your
dad.
and I-
That's Vincent's emoji.
That's fair. You know what? It works. I just love dad emojis, apparently.
I'm surprised you
It's a
actually put
dad
even
now.
a title like "We Do What We Want." I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't just literally name it Xbox Drive and just the episode number. Just like
Coming
you can
next
make a
week.
different thumbnail after what we talk about, right? No.
It's a gradual descent into nonsense, really.
Yeah,
It'll
100%.
just be like a number.
Gradual?
Yeah, maybe not so
Yeah.
much. One thing
You,
at a
you
time.
won't even
though.
put episode. You'll just put the number up there.
Roman numerals.
Yeah. That far back? We're just,
Yes.
we're just going that far downhill? Okay. I hear
Yeah.
you.
That'd be great.
Exactly.
But we're here. It's Friday. We're talking. We're having fun.
I got to
Work's
try
over.
xCloud in this hotel internet that I've got here.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
Probably not so much.
You could
have
play.
little
You could
faith.
play some like Dicey Dungeons or something. That's not
Dicey
as
Dungeons.
graphically.
I've never heard of that game.
Definitely haven't talked about it on the
We
podcast
definitely,
before.
yep, certainly not from you.
No, definitely not. I'm just trying to throw games out there. You could play Loop Hero. That's pretty like graphically like not too intense.
I could do Loop Hero.
Great
Little to the left.
opportunity.
Little to the left. Yep. Little Gator game. Is that on? Maybe I finished that
Probably.
up.
The fun
But it
waddle.
takes forever to get internet on every device. I've got it on my laptop here. I've got my iPad, but like, I don't know, man. This might be not worth the
work.
trouble.
I
It
play
is
my
work.
iPad all the time.
I do love this thing though. It's little.
Yeah. Oh, my iPad's huge.
Oh, and I got a little phone too. Look how tiny it is. You probably can't tell, but it's,
An
it's
Apple
tiny,
person.
little mini. I am an Apple. My watch. I did leave my watch at home though. I raced out the door. I'm like, I gotta get here on time. I don't have my watch, so that
dare
feels
you.
weird.
We can't track your heart rate
It's
when
not
you go to
good.
do your big thing this weekend.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I would, yeah. It's like it,
It
looks
might
like
be
you're doing
better.
a-
It could be
you're
like
running a
call
marathon.
911 for you.
I'm just
It's
sitting
okay,
next to
Seth.
Victor Lucas.
Have you had any conversations with him since agreeing to do it?
I have. Yes. Yep.
Have you-
we
do you-
have a
have you-
meetup time tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep. He doesn't know the questions I'm going to ask him, so
Okay.
the smell question is still on the table.
Nice.
Nobody. I appreciate that nobody has blown my cover on this. Nobody's going to like, hey, Victor Lucas, Sean's going to ask you about your hygiene.
I wouldn't
So-
do it because I want the raw reaction of him going. Kind of
Yeah.
bullshit is that. That's I'm
I
not
don't know
gonna.
if I don't know if
spoil
I've got the guts to do it though. So we'll see.
that. You got it, dude. You can do it. And then they'll.
I
never
still
invite
don't
you
really
back,
know
man.
like what's happening. Like I still have
a
a
good sign.
pretty like vague
24 hours
sense of like
before.
what's going on. Like yeah, it's at 10:30 tomorrow morning. So yeah, I don't know. Like am I like I don't know. I know that at a point in time we'll be like talking to each other. That's what I know. But I don't know like how does it start? Is there like a hype video? Am I hyping the crowd up? Am I like opening for like I have no idea. So that'll be fine.
Did you learn the
It's-
dance routine that they've been talking about all week?
No, what?
I think you should just dye your hair a vibrant color and then just get a small microphone and then just introduce yourself like Caesar from the Hunger Games.
Oh,
and
yes.
then just be
Oh,
like
yeah, he's
do
great.
do 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 and then just have like the theme song and then you just coming out and being like, look at me, and then just introduce them.
You gotta do that. Ah, ha, 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 ha.
Just like that. I need you to have a Bob Barker mic though. A real
Oh,
skinny mic.
well, that's
Not
what
one of
this
those.
is.
A
I
real
could kind of
skinny.
just do this.
Yo, that actually is not terrible. That's not far off.
This kind of works.
Yeah,
kinda
It does
do it.
work. Except he can't hear anyone now, but it's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But being with person with
can't
those
hear you at
people
all right
doesn't matter.
Killing it.
You're gonna do fine, Sean. You're gonna do
You're
great.
gonna do great.
Great.
Well, and if I don't, it's not going to be on the internet, so who cares?
Somebody recorded. I already paid somebody in the crowd to record it. I already found somebody on Twitter
Perfect.
who was going. Don't worry
Thank
about it.
you.
Nice. Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you.
Mind your business. Don't worry about it.
Mind your business.
You won't even know who's doing it too. You'll just be looking at the crowd like,
Who is it?
yeah, who's got their phone out? Put it away. Did Mitch pay you?
I know
That's
one
what I
person
hear.
who's going. I know we'll have one friend in the crowd, so that's kind of neat.
Nice.
Ooh, I think I know who it is too.
I don't know if I should like out them. Like it's not really a secret, but like I don't know. That would be nice.
Did you ask them to refrain from recording you?
No, I don't think I get any like special like. We're gonna show up. We're gonna do the thing, and then shortly afterwards, Victor Lucas is interviewing on the very same stage. He's interviewing BioWare, and I'm stoked to just sit in the crowd and just watch that. Like that'll be great.
Are they gonna after you're done? Are they gonna go? Cool, Sean, get off the stage. BioWare.
I know, right?
Stage."
Just like
Yeah.
you had your time. Beat it.
Well,
like you asked some great questions. Thank you. Sit.
I'm like, thank you. This cost me a fortune to get down here. That's all good. This downtown hotel,
Oh my God! I didn't even think about that. Like conventions,
which apparently
last-minute
doesn't
hotel.
include doesn't
Oh my
include
God.
parking. I'm parked at the Calgary
I
Tower
hate
across
that.
the street. It's brutal. I'm like,
Surprised
and
you
they're
didn't
like,
just park at home.
oh, I don't want to be complaining because it's very cool. But like, yeah, today was a little bit unexpected costs. Like, I'm
Sure.
like, where do I park? And they're like, you can valet for $50. I'm like, I can sure as hell not valet.
You can pound sand. How about that?
Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. And then I asked about the Wi-Fi, and they're like, well, it's free if you sign up to be part of our club. I'm like, what is this place? Marriott downtown Calgary. Good God. It's going on the SHIT list. That's what's happening.
yeah.
I'm surprised
Never
they didn't hit you
again.
with like a for the low cost of $5.99 a month. You can enjoy this and Paramount Plus. Okay.
Little did they know that later on this evening I would be podcasting to dozens of listeners. So
Dozen.
shout out to Telus. Not a good shout out to Marriott downtown Calgary.
Wow. Good to know.
Shame.
That's it. I'm talking too much. What are you guys doing?
We don't have anything
of-
cool going on. You got the cool stuff
Yeah,
happening.
you're doing
you know
the
what
fun
I mean?
stuff. We're just sitting
true.
here.
Yeah. What
Well-
if I
Speaking
do?
of hotels,
Speaking of hotels.
do we have any housekeeping?
Oh, nice one.
Are they at your door?
I know,
You
right?
should go check. There's somebody knocking
They're
at your
still
door.
there. Yeah. I didn't get a
I'm doing all
knocking
this-
sound effect. Damn it.
That's a really good. That's man. Like you could have fooled me with that. Although it'd be strange for housekeeping to show up at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That'd be a little bit weird.
That would be super sus. You'd be like,
Be like,
what the hell are you doing here?
Guys, leave me alone.
And then you go to the
Get
door
a
and
chance
it's
to
like
dirty this
covered.
bed yet?
I haven't. I've
Yeah.
got I've got some stuff on it, but I haven't really. No.
What is it?
The housekeeping that we have is I am going to be on the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons Podcast, which is our Ask Me Anything show. I get to do it all by myself. I'll probably do it in this hotel room, actually. So how's that going to work? I got to figure out how I'm going to do the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons Podcast because it goes up on Sunday. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I've got a lot to talk to you guys about. So that's it. That's the housekeeping for this week. I think that's
You know
all.
what housekeeping showed up for? They heard you were going to throw a soda against the wall, and they were like, we're just going to preemptively come in and clean all this stuff.
I am
in the
hearing
crowd.
all the stuff that's happening in the hallway there, so I'm a little self-conscious of like how loud I'm being. I'm probably being a little
You
more
really think you're being
subdued.
that loud to where they would like be like, who the hell is in there screaming on this podcast?
And I
Like,
feel like I'm just, and I'm not even screaming. I'm just, I don't know.
No.
I don't know about you guys, but whenever I would take transit, I wouldn't want to be on the phone. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like overheard, like one side of the conversation. I feel like that's super awkward. And it took me a long time actually to get over that with podcasting, knowing that like family was going to be on the other side of that door. I'm like, that is weird. If they just hear this, it'd freak me out for many, many years.
That's
And
fair.
yeah.
the only habit I change when I'm streaming when my family's home is I don't scream at the top of my lungs, you know, because then my wife's like, hey, Mitch, shut the hell up. I'm trying to do something in here. And I'm like, got it. Heard. You know what I mean? When they're not home, though,
Why do I feel
But
like
if
you were
it's more like when
screaming
my
about something
wife's
this
not home.
week? Who are you screaming at this week?
who was I screaming at?
Yeah, I feel like you were telling me something was going on. Maybe you don't want to share it, but I feel like you were screaming at something.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely had a situation at work. I'm not going to say who the coach
Oh,
was.
that's what it was. It was
Yeah,
work
I had
thing.
a
Oh, my bad,
situation
my
at
bad.
work where something happened,
bad.
and audibly sitting here with no one home, I just start screaming at my monitor like that person's in front of me. I just start losing it.
Probably felt good.
Oh, it felt amazing.
Yeah.
It felt real good. It's still, it was one of those things where you get so irritated that the following day you read the message again and you get mad again.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I literally came back. I opened up Teams. I saw the message and I'm like, it is just all flooded back in for a second, but I wasn't as angry. So,
It comes in waves.
yeah.
Comes in waves.
I also yelled at, oh, this is a fun story. Yeah. I was streaming Sunday, I want to say, and playing with some guy, some random, me and my buddy Bryant, and some random dude who was talking about how he was already drinking Hennessy at like 11 a.m. And I'm like, well, this is cool. Awesome, dude. Whatever. And then all of a sudden, I get a call from my son. By the way, my son's home. I'm like, why am I getting a call from my son? And he's home. Answer the phone. Hello? Are you locked outside or something? What happened? He's like, Blizzard got out. My dog got out of the house. Like, he got loose. Basically, my son left the side gate open and he just took off running. My dog did. And he's like, I'm chasing him down the street right now. We're by the park. I need you to come get me. Like, help me. And I'm like, holy shit. All right. I put myself in BR back and I just ran out the door. Some nice lady was able to get him. We got him in the car, brought him back. Maybe 3-4 minutes, I was gone. And I came back. I was still mid-match, by the way. Ranked Apex match in the middle of the game. I'm like, bye, I gotta go. Came back, and I had died. And this random is just like, oh, you guys are just amazing. You guys are just so good. And I lost it. Like, I haven't had that kind of rage in a while because I was pissed at my son. I was pissed that my dog it doesn't matter how old he is. I thought maybe he'd get tired of leaving the house and doing that. No, doesn't matter. You'd think it would be one of the new puppies that did it. Nope, he took off. So I'm already pissed off. And then at the end of the game, I actually had more kills, more damage, and I was gone for 5 minutes of the game chasing my dog down. So I proceeded to verbally lose my mind. And I just completely lost it on some random on the
Kind of
internet.
amazing you took care of that so quickly. Like,
Yeah.
even to have like the audacity to put the BRB. Like, my dog is running away. Be right back. Not in the stream. Like, I will be back, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, well, okay, let me phrase that. My BRB scene is just my I have something to do scene. But you know, as soon as I heard it, I literally just went button press, ran out the door.
Pretty
It's
impressive.
as fast as it was. And but yeah, when I came back and I realized like this guy was running his mouth, talking all sorts of crap, and I was still better at that game than he was, and I actually ran and got my dog,
Damn,
and I
good
let
guy.
that guy know.
Holy. New
Be
challenge.
nice. Hey, randoms, be nice. I'm not going to be mean to you first, but if you're going to be
Not
mean
first.
to me, not first. I won't start. Again, when you get into a fight, you can't start the fight, but you have to finish it. Like, you can't, you know, if you get swung on first, you have every right to defend yourself, which is what I did verbally, loudly, many cuss words. Verbally defended myself. And I don't know if Bowser heard that or not. I don't know if you were there live when it happened.
I
but a
wasn't
lot
there
of-
when it happened, but I heard you edit the clip.
Yeah, but then
I heard it multiple times.
But then a lot of people in the chat were like, "There's Rage Mitch. He hasn't been here in a minute." I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't gotten like that in a while, but you know, sometimes
brutal.
random people on the internet deserve it." Just saying.
I'm
Be
glad
nice on
you
the
didn't lose
internet.
your
I won't be
dog.
mean. Yeah, exactly. And this nice lady, and thankfully my dog's not like aggressive to where people aren't like scared to go like, "Hi, come here." But yeah, my son was. Let's just say me and my son had a chat, and he was very much like,
Somebody's in trouble.
"Oh yeah." He knew though. He immediately, as soon as I picked him up, I just looked right at him, and he's just like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm sorry." Yeah,
He's probably
I'm
happy
sorry.
you had somebody to scream at on the internet.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like I didn't take it out on him. Like yeah, I was happy too. I was like, cool. I'm pissed off at him. I can take it out on this moron running his mouth. So it felt good. It felt good. I imagine
Dang,
Fee
what
gets
a
like
moment.
that sometimes. I imagine Fee probably defended herself online from a person or two.
Yes, definitely. I played World of Warcraft when I was
said.
in my late teens and early 20s. I've dealt with some pretty interesting gentlemen on the internet because of it.
Gentlemen.
I say gentlemen in
Dude bros.
dude bros, and people
Sorry.
who. Oh, it's fine. I mean, at the time, I
It was
wasn't too.
Mitch.
It was not me. It was not me.
He's gonna have this light bulb moment when
like,
she describes a
Fee's
conflict. He's gonna be like, "I've heard this before."
I was gonna say, how funny would it be if Fee heard my voice and it triggered some core memory? She's like, I know that voice. He spoke to me before.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I have like definitely stood up to people before. I've also yelled at someone, one of my colleagues, when I worked at an arts camp randomly, mostly because he was not a nice person. He proceeded to go into my luggage and take his stuff out of it because we went and bought stuff. Oh yeah, so what happened was I was a
Son and I had
camp
the same
counselor.
reaction, hand in the air, like,
What?
So I was
What?
a camp counselor, and so what happened was I went out with the art, our camp director. I was at an art, shocker, I worked in an arts camp. So we went and got a bunch of stuff for the camp counselor. So we went around and asked oh, what snacks do you want? And this guy, he was just known for smoking cigarettes all the time and just constantly being a jerk, and then thinking that he was going to be running a specific department, which was not the case at all. And he was just very rude. And it got to a point where I found I went into my luggage and saw that, because I told him, I'm like, hey, all of the stuff for commissary for the camp counselors are in my bag, but I have it locked up currently because I don't want any of the kids getting access to it, because he's just I'm not feeling well, so we went to the cabins early. So he took it upon himself to go into my luggage and take his stuff out. So I stormed up the hill and started yelling at this guy. I'm like, get out here. And I told him to get out of his cabin. And I'm like, this is not happening. You need to stop. I'm about to I went off on him, and I was just like, I can't handle this. You are such a jerk. You're so self-centered. And I was yelling at this guy, and then I stormed away and told my director, and then he got fired. So that was fun.
Nice.
dude, she straight up stood her ground outside of the cabin. It was like, present yourself.
That was exactly
just shouting at this.
because girls aren't allowed in boys' cabins, so I'm just get out here right now. So I was just this is happening. I did not swear at him. I was just very frustrated, and I was just I can't handle this anymore, and you're acting like a jerk. And it was very upsetting because some of his camp counts, his campers came to me and said he was doing some not so great things, and I'm like, this isn't happening anymore. I'm people might not say it to your face, but I'm gonna do it. And then I was just I'm gonna get fired because I just yelled in front of a bunch of it was a bunch of campers, and the campers were like, nothing happened. We don't know what happened.
Nice.
Snitches get
And they're-
stitches. They didn't want Fee. They didn't want Fee pissed off at them too. Fee looked around and goes, "Say nothing." And I was like,
No,
that's what happened.
No, but no, I for the most part, I try to stay very polite. And if I don't have anything nice, I've been taught, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. So usually you'll know if I'm mad because I usually don't talk, because I'm a very chatty person.
Just
So
filtering.
I'll just filter, and then I'll just be like,
Yeah, same.
cool. 10
Yeah.
out of 10. So yeah, that's a story I haven't talked about in a while because I constantly forget about it. But no, for the most part, like gamers are silly. The end.
The end.
Do you know what? Okay, I'm gonna say. Do you know what game has really great randos that I have had nothing but positive experience with? Fallout 76.
Do it. Yeah.
So good. It has been such a positive experience since I've come back. There was a level 215 person came over and was just like, "Hey, do you guys need any patterns? Do you need any food? Do you need any gear? Like, I'm more than happy to drop." This guy looks like he's from like Alice in Wonderland. He's in a full like dapper like 4-piece suit with a top hat and a mask on, and he's just like, "What would you like from my wares? It's all for free." And we're like, "We're okay." And he's just like, "Thumbs up, have a great day." And we're like, "Okay, thanks." And he has like this insane like 3-story building, like his entire like camp area. Phenomenal person, 10 out of 10. I added him to my friends list, did not talk to him since, but he was really nice, so I thought, why not? But no, I know people have said it in the past where like the Fallout 76 community is super positive, but I've had nothing but positive experiences since I've come back. Yeah. Positive. We like a supportive community.
Nice. Well, it
Yeah.
was funny. I felt I was with you when that happened, and I like you and I were chatting. It was probably on Discord or something. So I was disconnected from voice chat from Fallout 76, and it was like the ultimate noob moment where I'm like, I can't even respond to this guy who's being nice because I don't have like push to talk set up or anything. Like it's like just completely not set up for this wonderful interaction. So I probably should do something about that because I think we can come to expect that a little bit. I feel like I'm so slow with this game, which is kind of the sense with many games that I play, but I feel like I'm still kind of getting settled into Fallout 76.
That's how I feel, but I love that.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
I played last night with a friend of the show, Frank, who's also one of my co-hosts on my other podcast. And he was like, "Let's fast travel. Let's do this." And I'm like, "I don't want to fast travel. I want to walk. I want to go and find stuff." And then he's just like, "Well, we need the materials, but I can't find it." And I'm like, "Because you fast travel everywhere. You need to stop. You have to smell the roses, sir. You have to like enjoy the game. Like fast travel. I'm not spending my precious caps on fast traveling." Like,
You have to pay to fast
That
travel.
reminds me. Don't talk about Frank.
Some
Talk
of them,
about
yeah.
us. Talk about us playing the game because we were setting
yeah.
our waypoints. I don't even remember where we were supposed to go. Like some tower, some radio tower, I think it was. And I'm like, but what's over here? Can we just like go check this out? And I felt
Yes.
bad like even like suggesting it. We haven't played a lot of like multiplayer games like this together, and it's like, I don't want to like. I'm really interested in like what's going on over here. Can we please go in this direction? And it was so cool. There are like these cabins in the woods, and like there's these ghouls around, and all of a sudden like you hear this scream off in the distance, like this woman screaming. It's like, oh, I've got to find out what's going on there. I was locked in on this, and it would happen once every couple minutes. And I thought I would be locked in. I'm trying to like use echolocation. I'm like Daredevil or a bat out here to try to like figure out where this sound is coming from, and wasn't really ever able to find it. But I obsessed for that for a little while. Then time goes on, and I think we got distracted by something else, and we find what's going on in these cabins, and that's all good. And then all of a sudden, I find like this. Like a tree house with a computer inside, like a terminal inside, and it's setting up all the weird haunted stuff that's going on in this little small village of wooden cabins. Like we're looking at one of the pictures, we're just hanging out in one of the cabins, and then one of the pictures just like spins around. We're like, what is this place? This is so cool. Honestly, it didn't really like ultimately end up in like a big boss or anything crazy like that, but it was a good hour of just like what is going on with this place. And I don't play a lot of these types of games, but I'm like, okay, I'm starting to I just want to be in this world and like do the thing. Yeah,
that's what I wanted for Fallout 76. Like I'm not looking to go to like of course at some point I would love to travel around, but those particular moments is why I love Fallout. Is there so much like lore and stuff, because then even in that spot I found the actual guest book, and the reason why they changed everything was because he got a bad review in his like guest book, because everyone said it was like a really positive, like super calming experience, and someone said like, this is super boring, like there's nothing to do here. And then the next comment is just like, I had to leave, the paintings were spinning and everything was going crazy. So it was just like, because I was just like, is this some sort of Scooby-Doo nonsense? And then it was. That's the whole thing. It was Scooby-Doo. And it was just so, like, those are the experiences that I want. I do not care about leveling. I do not care about, like, progressing. I want to see all the, like, the nooks and crannies of the game and try to, like, so, like, whenever you say, like, hey, can we go over this way? I'm just like, yes, let's go that way. You want to go
I don't know what it was. I wanted to see what those cabins were about.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
the screaming.
I was going to say, it's probably a recording of Fee screaming at that camp counselor. That's probably what it was. They was just playing in the background. You're like, I hear a woman screaming about some luggage. I don't know what's going on. Just starts watering over there. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, you guys are talking about playing Fallout 76 and, like,
oh, no.
You know,
I almost made this the thumbnail.
It's almost like half the show was asking to play a certain game, and then the other half of the show didn't care.
I just want to say, Fallout 76 is free with Game Pass right now. You all could have played with us. I mean, I'm not like
I can't because it's not crossplay on PC and Xbox.
Mm-hmm. You know what else? None of us had it installed.
We played for hours.
Cool. You know what we all had installed and we're all ready to play right away?
What?
Let them know, Bowser.
She asks what?
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 Tell me.
Just your favorite game ever that you played for like a bajillion hours. Helldivers 2.
Oh no, that doesn't work.
Oh no.
No.
You just got like half a
Fee's
Fee's face stuck on there.
Yeah, the game that Fee talked about forever. That Bowser spent money on so we can play together.
I mean, I'm down to play.
Of course you
Just
are.
not that day.
I said
Just not that
later
day.
on. I was just like, guys, you want to play? Do you guys want to play like Helldivers 2? You want to play
Now we're
Helldivers 2?
We got to jump in like every 5 minutes, like Helldivers. We're gonna ask so often, and then you guys won't be available, and then we're like, oh, okay, let's see how it is now. But
You haven't asked one
Sean,
damn
you know what's
time
gonna
since that day,
happen?
but it's
We're
fine.
gonna post. We're gonna ask them, do you want to play Helldivers? We're not gonna hear anything. We're gonna hop into Fallout 76 for
Oh, yeah.
5 minutes, and it's gonna be like, guys,
Too
like
late.
let's
too
play
late.
Helldivers now, and it will
Too
be
late.
like too late.
Definitely.
I will
Too
wait
late.
until I see in Discord it says both of you playing it until I spam the group chat. It's
Well,
okay.
this is the thing. Like, and I hate not being able to like play games with everyone. But like Fallout kind of has my heart right now, you guys. Like the show, which I missed in the housekeeping. We're gonna be recording a little something, a total spoiler cast about Fallout, the TV series, and that will come to Patreon next week, which is incredible. Stoked about that. But like, I really genuinely feel bad. I feel torn. Like you guys see this like on probably a weekly basis, twice a week, even if you listen to the Nintendo Drive. My tension, my conflict, always of like, what can we play? And it's like, I just want to be in the wasteland right now. Like it has more to do with the game than anything else right now. And I haven't felt that way about a game in a long time. It's Fallout and actually Brotato, which maybe I'll get to in a bit. But like Fallout
Not even
is
second place.
is
Not even
it.
second option.
I'm not gonna lie. I've played this game quite a bit the past 2 weeks. The only time I've ever seen the Mothman is with Sean. Like I played
Yes.
for hours last
How many
night.
times too?
We saw it twice in like a span of 15 minutes, and like last night I played for so long, nothing. No,
It's only
no
me,
Mothman.
the magic.
Mind you, I
Sean
did
is
find a
the
random
Mothman.
pipe.
I am the Mothman.
That's why I said Sean was the Mothman, because there was randomly last night, I'm not gonna lie, I found a pipe and there was like smoke coming out of it. And I was just like, oh, that's interesting. So I run over to it, and then it was just like, sniff the pipe. And I'm like, why? Sure, I'll do that. Everything started to go super crazy, like almost like kaleidoscope. Everything started like shaking too. And then
Yeah.
randomly a dead person appeared with a
Yes,
note
it's
on
good
it
stuff.
that said, I couldn't handle the pipe. And I'm like, what is happening?
Funny story. So I mentioned I'm staying downtown Calgary right here. I went for a little walk, and there's a variety of folks around. Did I see a crack pipe? Yes, I did. Somebody dropped their crack pipe. And
you
he went
smell
down. I smelt it. Yes.
Did you smell-
Definitely smell the distinct
I'm
smell of
glad.
Kaleidoscope.
crack pipe. Well, and he went to go pick it up, and then like he kicked it with his foot. Like he went to
Oh
go pick it. Like
no, the poor guy.
the poor.
The poor man couldn't pick up his pipe.
Everyone's like,
Jesus
and
Christ.
you can see, like, I'm kind of like it's one of those moments you're looking around going like, everybody's looking at it and we're all thinking the exact same thing. Is that a crack pipe? Like, 'cause we don't really know. Like, but pretty sure that's what that was.
You
So.
change the thumbnail right now to smell the pipe. Make sure you change it right now. That's the new title of the show. Change the title of the show right now. Oh
Yeah, you're right, Bowser. There's nothing gradual about what's happening to the show.
Jeez,
Oh my
man.
God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
I
thought
used
it
to
was a
drive
very
on my way into work and just do it that way.
Yeah, it went from like a 30-minute hard stop show to whatever the heck this is.
Yeah. We have
Pretty
fun, though.
much.
Fee's broken. She's laughing. She's giggling. We're fine. Don't worry about it.
It's true.
Okay, but I don't want to be done with Helldivers, though. I don't want to be.
I'm not.
You sure?
Okay, I'll be there when you come back.
You know what I
That sounded
wish?
very nice, but also kind of threatening.
It sounded passive aggressive. She's just like,
Hey,
yeah.
I
I'll
am-
hear when you come back.
I have a request for the people who make Helldivers. Can you? Okay, I recently purchased a very expensive mech. Now, my only problem with my mech is it is a very large top, and that large top should have seats for my friends. So they could also join in, rather than me being like, "Bye guys, let me go in my mech," and then all these people are like, "Oh, I guess I can't." Like I'm getting outrun. That's what it
least-
does. It's just like,
Or if you can pick us up
Macaron.
like suitcases, just carry a couple of us.
yeah, like suitcase. Why not? Instead, no.
Can we do Helldivers maybe next week after the show? Like when I'm back home and I have a computer that might run it. Like that would kind of be neat.
I will
be
be.
alright.
I'm down.
I'll think about
Okay.
it.
Whatever,
think
Mitch.
about it.
I don't
Okay,
even want to play.
Mitch.
I'll take a nap.
I'm gonna remote delete it. Can I log into my Steam?
Can I
account?
remotely uninstall games?
Okay, Sean,
3
here's
hours
the
away from
deal.
home.
Either we play Helldivers next week after the podcast, or we're just
Or
playing
Fallout.
Fallout. We're just playing Fallout 76 if you guys aren't prepared to play Helldivers.
We'll let the people decide.
I was
the
saying, me and
people
Bowser,
decide.
me and
Keep
Bowser
driving
just
us
play
apart.
Helldivers. You guys play Fallout
Yes.
76, and we just divide the show's audience instantly. Find out who's more popular.
I was gonna say this is our first sort of like conflict, but it's not. Of course, we've
No,
had
it's not.
lawyers on in the past. This is more like our first civil war, though,
Yeah.
because it's kind of like
The Great
Canada.
Divide.
Actually, it's not even a civil war. It's U.S.
Yeah.
versus Canada.
Facts.
Again, another
we
war of
literally have like
1812.
we have a divide right here, like
Right here.
literally right here.
Right here.
Man, I can't.
The right side's right here, though, right? Right, Bowser? That's right.
I mean, I also like the fact that like Bowser tried to say, "Oh, Sean, we see who's your favorite co-host," and then I said, "No, it's not
That hurts
almost.
so bad.
It's not about that. It's because it's Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain," and then I started typing out the lyrics to Country Roads because that's.
I told you, I've been to West Virginia.
It's true.
It is
Yeah,
not
I have
that
family that's in
good.
West Virginia. It's not. It's not. West Virginia's a scary
It probably
ass
looks
place,
better
I'm just
in Fallout the game than it does in real life.
damn. Wow.
No, graphically, it looks better than real life.
It looks better in
Yeah.
this game about the end of the
Wow.
world than it does in real
definitely
life.
more interesting.
Currently.
Has less pipes in it, that's for sure. Jeez. Like, yeah, it's yeah, I've been to West Virginia. It's there's a lot where I was at, there was a lot of dirt roads. And what's scary is I'm new to these dirt roads. So I'm white knuckled, the steering wheel, just like, okay, going slow. Meanwhile, you got Hillbilly Bob here, right? Who lives here his whole life and is drifting around me doing all these dirt roads, and I'm terrified to drive. Yeah, West Virginia's a scary place, but it's okay. Don't worry about it.
I've just gotten like essentially like tips from people who live in the Appalachians, and they're just like, if you hear someone yelling or screaming at night, you don't. Or if you hear people say your name at night, you don't. You just don't acknowledge them. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. 10 out of 10. Thumbs
Sounds
up.
great.
I love this. This is the best place I want to go to. Thumbs up. I mean, I'm from the country of like, I'm from rural Nova Scotia, and there's some crazy nonsense and crazy like dirt roads that go to nowhere. I'm used to it. So it just sounds like an extension of where I currently am.
I don't know if they're as crazy as West Virginia, though. Just saying. They're a
I
special kind
mean-
of breed.
I mean, one night I was driving home with my mother in the vehicle, and all of a sudden this random guy just ran in the middle of the street, and he was just like, "Whoa!" and trying to drive. It's funny now. But
Yeah, it is funny now. Yeah, that'd be
it's
awful.
funny now, but it was very dark. Like there's no lights on the street. Like it is the back roads, and this guy just like randomly charged towards our car while I was driving. So I had to swerve around him. And honestly, guys, that was the closest I ever thought a zombie apocalypse happened, and I was just like, "This is the end." But you know what? I played another game this week, guys. A game that I wasn't particularly wasn't on my like. I have put it in the thumbnail in the past. But I played Lightyear Frontier. I played that with Lucas. It's a really fun game. I had a lot of fun. It's not a usual game that I would play. For people who aren't aware, you are essentially a person who's been sent out after the world has been run amok, and essentially things have been taken over by toxic spores and stuff like that. And so you're trying to find a new place in the universe. And so you get sent to this planet accidentally, and you get your mech, and you're just like, you're trying to terraform this area. And it's really fun. It's really like soothing. The music's really nice. You're also cleaning the area because there's like some almost like toxic plants that are like throwing out spores and slime and stuff. So it's essentially just a cleanup job, and you're just doing that, and you're also building a farm. It's really cute. I like it a lot. There's also really cute animals.
Like, thank God we don't have that in real life. Just like toxic spore plants. They're just like spewing out poison at you. I was terrified of poison ivy as a kid. Yes, of course. But it's just not like, around here. We've taken care of that.
It's just pollen.
That's true. Yeah.
The deadliest of spores.
Debilitating for some of us.
Yes, sorry.
I mean, there is an actual garden. It's run by a number of scientists, and it has like the most deadly plants in the world. And people like go in and they're like, you have to sign a waiver, and they're like, oh, it's fine. And then people like pass out, and they have to take them out of the garden. It's like, it's crazy.
Why do they let people in? Like,
that sounds like a start of a horror. That sounds like a start of a Resident Evil
sounds like
game.
a bad idea. Just
I don't
let
know
people
why.
in.
But I watched a few things on it, but it looks very pretty, but it's very deadly. But I digress. I would highly recommend this game. I would probably recommend playing it with a partner if you can. Like, it's a co-op game, so I really like it. Also, you get to paint your mech, and you can change your mech out with different parts, which is it's really fun and cute. So I painted mine red. Blue. I painted mine blue, 2 shades of blue. I almost said red. It starts off as red. But yeah, it's just a really I find some of those games can be very overwhelming because there's so much to do, but I feel like there was a very natural progression with it. Also the fact when I'm playing with Lucas, he's the one who's like gardening and like figuring out everything at base, and I'm going out and trying to like clear out things and explore, which is a lot less taxing on my brain. So I would recommend it. Yeah. 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Yep. Another game that I played, which is very taxing, which I was very excited about, is Manor Lords. So I downloaded it this afternoon, and I thought it is going to be fantastic. I'm going to be like super like on top of this. Guys, I opened it up, and then you get to select your character. You have to make your family crest or your Lord crest, essentially. So it took me like
How long
3
did
hours.
this take? Yes.
Because I'm like the symbolism of this particular icon with like this color, and I also was like looking up online like what specific colors and what certain things represent on a map, not map, but a crest, because like my family has a family crest, of course, because we're McKinnons, which I added a boar to mine in the game because I'm like that my family crest has a boar on it. So it took me a very long time, and then I opened up the game. There were so many things. I was just like, I need to come back here at another time. So I saved and I closed. Mostly because it's just like you have to figure out where you want to specifically set up your town. I even selected the option that doesn't have any warfare in it. I was just like, I want to just be able to like build my town up to the largest town is the goal of that particular game. If you select that one without war. And it was just like, you have to figure out like pathways, and you have to like make sure that it's connected to the King's Road, because you can't edit the King's Road, which is very historically accurate if you're not aware. back in those days, they had a thing called the King's Road, which was road that were run by the kingdom, and you couldn't actually like make any adjustments on them. You could connect roads to them, but you couldn't actually like stop it or like put an item on it or like a building on it, because that would be essentially treason and you would be killed. So you can't do that. So there was this like trying to figure out like the different ecospheres and like what would be best to put in certain areas, and I'm like, this is a lot for my brain to handle right now. So unlike Lightyear Frontier, it was just like, I need a break from making a quest for 3 hours.
She's gonna make a quest for 3 hours. How much longer do you think she's gonna play the game for?
I'm gonna play it. I want to play it like from start to finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one that it was made by like Civilization devs? Is that the same? Is it like Civilization, or is it more like SimCity?
So it's very much, it's like almost like City Skylines in a way. So you're building out a town.
Example.
Yeah.
How was it compared to SimCity 2000?
Nothing else has come out since like that
There's
at
nothing
all.
exactly.
From what I've been told, it's the most, I've been told it's literally one of the most wishlisted games on Steam. I think 2 million people wishlisted it, which is crazy. But it's very historically accurate. And from what I've heard by the devs made sure that they were as historically accurate as they could, and also make the game a lot of fun. So there are a lot of different aspects, like you have to figure out like the housing, and then you have to make sure that you're kind of balancing it with trade and like where certain things have to be built. And so it also has those icon like things where it's just like the people want a church because it's that particular time period. So you're just like, okay, cool. So you have to make that, but you have to make sure that you have enough resources to make it. And then if you're playing the battle ones, then you have to be careful, and you can hire mercenaries and stuff like that. But like I said, I'm not playing fighting mode right now because I'm like, I need to build myself up to that particular point.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah. I'm like a huge history buff, so I thought this was very much in my wheelhouse, rather than being like City Skylines where it's just like a metropolis that you have to make, and I'm like, whoa, that's a little too much. But then you can also zoom down and see all of your little people, and each person has a name, and it's so cute. I really want to continue playing it when I have the mindset for it. Yeah,
just like a ruler would. Just
exactly.
the little people.
Just the little people.
I'm glad you played
You're a Manor
it.
Lord. Came out today, guys. Go play it. It's on Game Pass. That's the whole point.
I've got no Xbox with me right now. I got
PC only.
xCloud. That's it.
It's also PC only, yeah.
It's only PC only right now.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you can't play.
I'm sorry.
Maybe when I get home.
I mean, I would recommend it. The music's also really great in it too.
Nice.
Yeah, would highly recommend. It's just not usually a game I would play, but I'm very interested to continue on. But I just want to talk about it because the crest building was like the crest.
I want to see
creation
it.
was
Take a
really
picture of it. Put it in the Discord.
I will.
We gotta see
I
this
will.
thing. I love
Absolutely. I'll explain everything and why I made it the way that I
Yes.
did.
Yes,
Boom. Boom.
people need to know.
People need to know. I want to see everyone else's. If you play Manor Lords, send me a
I mean, I might
crest.
just do that. I could fire it up and just create a crest. That sounds
Yeah.
good to me.
Boom.
You
Exactly.
get an achievement for that?
You get an achievement for just starting the game.
I'm in.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
you buried the
Bowser,
lead.
that's all you need to tell Bowser. Bowser's
That's
like,
like-
check.
Yeah, if you make a crest and you're like start, boom, you get an achievement.
Chivo. Nice.
I was very confused. It was just like 97% of people got this, and I'm like, what's happening
What
with this
an
other
achievement.
Well,
The
what is the
3%.
achievement? But with that 3%, what are you doing? Did you just open it and we're like, eh?
This is too much.
Didn't even hit new game.
Their son let the dog out, so they had to.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't BRB. They
Yeah,
all
yeah,
afford that.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
So Bowser, did you make any crests in any games today? Or
No,
this
but I
week, this
did
week?
get 14 achievements since I finished work today.
Today,
What?
what happened?
What did you do?
I'm a professional.
Look at her.
There's a brand new game that just came out called Radarinth. $3.99 launch sale. It is a wonderful little 2D platformer, like monochrome. It's just black and white, where you can find some color palettes as you play along, and then you can go into settings and change it. But it's like 80 levels. I'm on 63 right now. It's quick, instant respawns if you do die.
Okay.
Love it.
It ramps up difficulty a little bit. I'm on what I would call a boss level, so I'm being chased throughout the level. Yeah, I've probably died 15 times on this one so far, so I had to stop, record a podcast. It happens.
Get back to it later.
But it seems like every so many levels you get an achievement, and I was just working my way through
all in that one game today?
Yep, all in that same game.
Nice.
So
Nice.
so far, well worth my $3.99.
Nice.
Love it.
I've been looking for things to sink my teeth into, because guys, I'm in a gaming funk. I don't know what to play.
Oh no.
I'm having one of those times.
There's
So I
so
played-
many games to play.
I know, but like none of them.
Nothing feels.
There's no Bowser games out there. They don't exist.
Right. Actually, I mean, there is a game, Bowser games, that are definitely available that,
Yeah, well,
We need to toss like all the recommendations to. I don't know how to. I feel like you would recommend me the games. Like this
Well,
is
it's true.
like what do we do
apparently
now?
I played them all.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
Have you thought
I
of
played-
trying another Crab's Treasure?
I did play a little bit of that. And
Oh,
then,
nice.
Then I got myself clipped into a while, and I turned it off.
Oh, no
I
way.
thought, well, maybe it needs some patches.
Oh, really?
Game breaking patches.
Other than that,
Or
it's
game-breaking
fun. It's
bugs,
cute. Like, it's got voice acting, a little bit of story. Like, it's kind of a cute game, but it's tough, right?
Yeah.
But I think it'll be good once it's cleaned up a little bit.
How do you recommend a game to someone who's played all of the games? This is
got-
impossible.
Have you
Yeah.
played Ace Attorney before?
Oh,
Oh.
You should.
look at
She looks so
She's just
excited
like,
to play. She looks so excited. She's like,
I mean, I'm gonna say right now, the first 3 games are on Game Pass,
Uh-oh.
and all the achievements. All the
I was about to say
achievements.
that's the next question.
these
though,
are
is like,
these
how easy can I
achievements.
pop these? Yeah.
Also, some of the best game music I've ever heard. So good. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. If you like really cheesy humor and also the prospect of someone on death row on multiple occasions, by all means.
I'm in.
I mean, that's what the game is. Like, that's the whole purpose of it, is these people are on trial because they supposedly committed a murder, and you are the attorney that you're trying to be like, objection, they did not, which is the catchphrase. It is objection. You've probably seen it on the internet. But yeah, so good. I mean, I would just even recommend doing the very first one. Like the very first trial. The very first trial ever was for Butts. He is on trial because they think he committed he killed his girlfriend. So
I
that's
did. It's
Assumed
always the
guilty.
boyfriend. It's always the
It's
boyfriend.
always.
wow.
Just she's not wrong though, right? I mean,
I can't be a
did I
jury.
tell you?
I'm sorry.
That would be the I would be giving spoilers. I'm not going to give you spoilers. Go and play it.
No spoilers.
Yeah. yeah, Bowser, go play it.
Go play it.
They're just
right now.
like, all right, I'm gonna blame my woes right now on one person and one person alone. You ready for this?
Oh no.
Seth,
No.
Garrett,
Sean.
Ryan,
Me.
Nobody in Carpool.
Mitch.
Oh, okay.
Jim Ryan. It's all his fault. Sony's supposed to be putting out these beautiful story-driven action-adventure games that I love, and he decided to make all the studios start live service games that will never see the light of day, and we've wasted how many years? And now I'm
true.
sad.
Have
What
you already
about-
played like Ghost of Tsushima and like all those previous?
I'm not usually into like the samurai type of stuff.
To be fair, I'm not either. Right? I'm not like a big samurai person, but that gameplay and story in the loop is just, it's awesome. It
Yeah.
really is good. Like I said, like I didn't care about Lord of the Rings, and I still thought Shadow of War and Mordor were phenomenal
one.
games. Like, even if you're not into that, like that
Yeah.
gameplay loop is really good, and the combat's
Yeah.
really good, and all that. Just
The worry I have with that one though is like I've heard so much hype, and I'm gonna be sad if it doesn't meet that hype for me.
yeah. Sometimes games can get overhyped. That's for sure. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess all content can get overhyped, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I just even if something isn't necessarily in your wheelhouse as far as like things you may or may not like, just saying. Because like, again, Ghost of Tsushima was absolutely that for me. I was just like, not necessarily like not big into samurai stuff, like, you know, but I haven't heard a bad thing about this. Let me try it, and it was worth it. It was really good. It's a really good game. So became
Sean's
a
got his
top.
thinking face on.
Yeah.
What
he does.
about any of the Fallout games? Fallout 4 just got the patch. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. Like,
Yes, Bowser. Tell us what you think of Fallout 4.
It feels like an old game. I don't know.
oh, so
It
we're
just-
being judgy about so beggars can't be choosers. Beggars can be choosers. I
Beggars can
guess.
be choosers.
Beggars
clearly.
can
I
be
don't know. I haven't put a
choosers.
lot of time
Okay.
into it, but I did fire it up. Played a little bit.
The new patch.
Yeah, when it came out, I fired that up last
I
night.
kind of want to check it out,
Or PlayStation.
but it's
I
not.
never played it before
not-
that,
not
so
doing
I
nothing.
don't know. I don't know. I'll probably give it some more time just to see where it's going.
I feel like the gigantic wide open RPG thing isn't a Bowser game, but I don't know that for sure.
Could be.
Could be. Okay, I'll work with that. So you're saying there's a chance?
I think you should turn on Fallout New Vegas.
I agree.
And you should go right to Quarry Junction because that is the safest part of the entire map. It is a really starter friendly area. 10 out of 10. I am not joking. Definitely not pulling
Like
your
I'm being
leg.
trolled.
Yon
That's what's
32 says play Tunic. It's hard as shit.
Tunic is phenomenal,
It's very
but
good.
is very like
Yeah. I
What?
think I played. Did it have a demo or something when it first came out? I think I might have played that.
maybe.
Mitch watched me play that on stream. Do you remember
yeah.
that, Mitch?
Yeah.
And I died endlessly in that skeleton
yeah.
boss. Oh my gosh.
Shout
God,
out
that's
to
years ago.
the creator of that game. They're from Halifax.
Shout out.
Yeah.
I
Andrew.
remember like that game's language, like nothing's in English.
Yeah.
It's got its own language, and
That's
then you
the
have to
whole point.
decipher things. Right. I mean, but like,
That's the point.
I know, but like, there's points of it where I'm just like, can I get a Google Translate, please? Can I get something
No.
just to give me
The
some
internet
sort of
does
direction?
exist. It'll be fine.
The internet does exist, true. Try to stay away from it, but no, that game is very hard. But it's a good game. I don't know if it's still on Game Pass or not, though.
I
I need
also
like
Thing.
a Red Dead Redemption 2. That's what I need.
Hmm.
Something like that. Or Death Stranding.
Or
Next
Also,
year
Jan
for
said
Death
Ghost of
Stranding.
the Goat.
Death Stranding
What?
2 is next year, so I got time to wait.
You should.
Why is Death Stranding getting anyone out of a gaming funk?
Oh, that's a wonderful game. I've beat it
just
3
offended.
times now.
Like what?
Sean just dumped over everybody who liked that game. He's
Yeah.
like, who enjoys
Yeah, I
this?
got in
What?
trouble for saying Fallout felt old, and Sean's just like, that's a terrible game.
That's not what I said. I said, how is that game getting anybody out of a gaming funk? That's in my head. That's two different things.
Yeah.
I just think that's a strange thing. Now, I will also say sometimes a gaming funk is nothing to be trifled with. You know, like it can be a serious situation. So I'm not taking any of your reactions to my recommendations to get you out of a gaming funk personally at all. I just
Yeah,
think
you
you're
should
not
not.
yourself. I think
Yeah.
I just think you know you don't even know what to do right now. So I understand. I've been there many times.
Ace Attorney. That's
I've just been playing Stitch.
Keeps dumping it on.
I'm just playing Stitch. I'm just making pretty embroidery.
That
There
sounds
you go.
about right. That sounds nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I play games that don't end. They just
I
keep
saw
going
Lockleth
and
playing
going.
Stardew Valley the other night, and I gotta get back to that.
Yep. She needs to let us in. Let us in.
Blizzard. yeah. Godre meme. Yep.
I need to get back into Coral Island because I was playing it around Christmas time and then I just stopped cold turkey. And I feel like I need to get back into that one.
It's probably been patched enough by now.
Probably.
It's almost closer to next Christmas than it was to last Christmas.
Almost.
We're almost getting there.
A few more months. A few more months and then we're closer to next Christmas. But yeah, Mitch, what have you been playing?
I've been playing the same 3 games I've been playing the week.
Man, maybe I shouldn't have asked.
No. So Apex had a new event come out for Octane's Heirloom or Prestige skin, which is a shark themed skin, which is cool. There's some new skins that are available for that event. 3 Strikes, which is the coolest Apex limited time mode that they have, is available for the next 2 weeks. It's phenomenal. It makes people who don't like battle royales. It's kind of like basically in the game you get knocked, right? And you can get picked up in this mode. If you get knocked, you can't die until all your whole team is dead, and you get 3 chances at winning the game. So it's kind of like an easier way for people who normally play battle royales. They die if they restart everything. You get 3 chances as a team to win.
Sean mode.
There's a lot. Yeah, it's actually, in my opinion, it is the best limited time mode they've ever had. What's funny enough, they did this event in correlation with a Post Malone collaboration. Everybody was just like, because he's a really big fan of the game, and he created like some skins for the game, and he came up with this mode. I don't know if he came up with it or they just like pitched it to him. Like, do you
He's
like
also
this?
a game designer.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, right? But no, when that came out, everybody was like, yeah, those skins are cool. This mode, we want this mode almost permanent.
Nice.
Like so many people like it. So that's back right now for the rest of the season. They're teasing a new legend. Lots of things going on there. I played a little bit of Call of Duty, not as much. I found, you know what's funny? You were talking about positivity on the internet. I found a person playing Apex, me and Bryant playing ranked, and we found a person. Her name is Razzle Dazzle, and she is a gem. She is a gem of a person. We had so much fun. Me and Bryant were just having fun chatting with her. We ended up playing literally all day on Sunday with this random. I was like, you know what? We'll add her as a friend. And then like the next day, she invited me. And I was like, wait a minute, is that the person from yesterday? And me, Bryant, and her played ranked all day, killed it, got tons of points, won a couple games. And I was just like, hey, there are some fun people that you can still find randoms on the internet that aren't
there.
mean. Yeah.
Yep.
And shout out to Razzle Dazzle. She's awesome. And
Razzle-dazzle.
yeah,
And
I might
Sean?
play some more.
He wouldn't have met her if he had played Helldivers with us. So
That's actually the funny thing. So Fee came into my chat and literally was like she about ran her mouth for a second. She was about to give me some lashings. And then I was like, you know what? It's okay that we didn't play because we didn't play. And I met Razzle Dazzle. That is very true.
Everything
so
happens
there's
for a
silver
reason.
lining. But no, it's did that. And then I did play some more Hogwarts, which it sounds bad that I'm like, I have to like force myself to play it. I don't want to say it in like a negative way, but I feel like I just have to like take time and make sure I put it into certain games, because if I don't, I'll just keep playing Apex and COD over and over.
Makes sense.
Like it's weird. I'm like, I really want to play COD. And I'm not saying that like, oh, Hogwarts sucks or I'm not enjoying it. I am, but I'm so used to just playing multiplayer games with my friends and stuff. And like, that's the harder thing. So, but I got some more Hogwarts playing done. I beat the second trial, working my way. No. Yes, I did beat the second
Making my
trial.
way,
I
dude.
think. Yeah. And so far, like, I don't think I'm necessarily far from the end of the game. What I like to do is I go to a walkthrough, not to follow it, but just to kind of see in the mission list to like,
Totally.
where am I?
I do that
Am
all
I
the time.
halfway through? Am I
Then I get
75%
spoiled.
through? Yeah. Well, good thing IGN's walkthroughs for the most part just give you the name of the, unless the mission
Yeah,
name
like
is
a
a
chapter.
That's what I mean.
full-on
Like the name of the
spoiler.
chapter is like,
yeah.
like family
So-and-so's
reunion, and it's like,
revenge,
oh
and you're
no, like,
Exactly. But no, like, I'm kind of telling myself like, hey, Mitch, you have to beat Hogwarts before Hellblade comes out, and you have to play Hellblade before Hellblade 2 comes out.
Oh,
So
I
I'm very
know.
much trying to get through that, and then after that, I'll be playing Elden Ring and probably saying a lot of mean things at the screen. But you know, again,
Tempted to
we
jump
should
back into
race.
that.
We should race Elden Ring if that's even a thing.
I'm sure it's a thing.
It
Yeah.
is.
And then
There
I'll
are
play it and I'll
speedruns.
feel bad because people have beat that game using just their mind. I don't know if you
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Or people beat it with a dance
I
pad, so
did
you
not.
just feel like a lesser of a person, you know? So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. All my buddies like my buddies who know how much I rage want me to play these games to
Yeah.
just see me react to those types of games.
Well, yeah.
So Buzz is very much like, please tell me when you're playing Elden Ring.
Elden
Please.
Ring.
I'll watch all day.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's good
okay, cool.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna freak out, but
There'll be lots of clips.
Oh yeah, there'll be probably lots of clips of, you know, hopefully nothing breaks during those streams, but no, I'm just, you know, I'm still having fun with those games. Hellblade, is it end of the month? Like end of May, May 20th something for Hellblade 2? I think it's more towards the end of May,
Yeah,
hopefully.
May 21st.
Something like that. So I got like a month to get through the rest of Hogwarts and then Hellblade 1. And then I really would like to play Hellblade 2 right away when it comes out. Selfishly for content reasons. So people come search up YouTube videos of walkthroughs and stuff. Selfishly. Content brain thinking. But yeah, that's the one thing I'm trying to rush through and get these things done. But I am liking Hogwarts to the point where I'm still learning new things. I haven't gotten to that point where I know everything yet. There's still new things I'm learning. I am kind of mainlining the story though right now. Like I haven't gone too much into some of the side stuff. I'm really just kind of focused on the story.
Ready to be done.
That part. Yeah, like I kind of want to at least get that complete, then move on. And then I'm not opposed to going back and trying to platinum the game or 100% the game. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm definitely there's a lot. The map is gigantic. And I was like very much like, I was worried because that's what happened with The Witcher. The map was too big. I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And I was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this because I feel like I'm just not progressing. I got scared at the map at how big it was. And then I finally unlocked, High Wing. And I was just flying everywhere. And I'm like, okay, I can travel. There's already fast travel. But when you get that, you're like, yep, I can move real fast in this map now. I don't feel like this map is like so large that I can't go from one side to the other without, feeling like a drag. So no, I'm enjoying the game so far. Definitely understand why it was the best selling game last year, and that totally makes sense. So good for them. The only criticism I have, and I'm sure this is probably a thought, multiplayer would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Just saying. I also feel that way with like almost every game for the most part, most games I'm like multiplayer would be cool. Some games not, right? Some games are like too good. Spider-Man 2, I was super shocked wasn't multiplayer. Like there's two of them.
I'm just shocked because like a lot of the other Harry Potter games have been multiplayer, in some capacity. So there was like, oh my goodness, they have a bunch of mobile app games for like Harry Potter, and they're all multiplayer in some capacity. They just released one last year as well. It's like Hogwarts. It's Harry Potter and something, but it was like very much like you could actually like you have your own like your home room and stuff like that, and then you would go in and have like different teammates and stuff like that, and you could like explore Hogwarts. And then there's just like also the Lego Hogwarts, like Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
So it's like it's very interesting that they don't actually make it multiplayer by any means, because there's definitely some opportunities in that game where you could do it in some capacity, even if it was just dueling. Because that's what a lot of the games that have online aspect is usually dueling is the biggest thing, is like dueling competitions or something like that where they could like combine people.
Well, even in the game too, like most of the missions that you're doing involve another student, right?
Yes.
So it's like so far every mission I've done, it's like go find this other student who's already at the mission location for you to go do this mission together. So it's like you already had, a person with you, so it's not like you're solo dolo on everything. So I just found it weird that was but also too, like my buddy Bryant, who has platinum the game, he's done everything. He was talking about how there was supposed to be like a good and bad system throughout the game that got scrapped due to time. So maybe it was just a matter of like, you have to get this game out type of deal. But also, I'm happy that it has the response that it has, because now that just gives the devs more time to work on it, more resources to work on it, and now they can expand on all these ideas. Jan32 said also Quidditch. That was another thing that people were bummed that wasn't in the game.
Well, they said it was going to come out as a DLC.
Yeah, like that was going to be some sort of expansion or something. But like I said, I'm just happy that a game came out. It didn't need to be a live service game. It just was its own single player. Here's your game, and just let it. As long as you put out a good game with good stories and good enough missions and stuff, people will like it. And I'm glad that it got the attention it did, because now the next one will be just better. Which is one of those things I feel sad about, like Suicide Squad for, because that game got forced the live action stuff and it's bad. Like it's just.
I think I saw it has fewer concurrents on Steam than Marvel's Avengers, which has been closed down.
A dead game. That's depressing.
Unbelievable.
That's depressing.
That's why I'm glad. Like, as much as I would like to share the experience of something like a hog leg with my friends, I would rather it be a good single player game.
So
and not,
true.
Well, like we've talked about this, it's come up recently. Like, if you play multiplayer, who gets credit for the mission, and what happens if you're not in the same spot? Like, those are
Right.
difficult things to figure out, and I don't know that anybody has perfected it yet. Like, there's still always questions about it. So, just put that effort into making a good game for me to
Yeah.
play by myself.
I gotta check back to like, I feel like Diablo did a good job of it. I feel like I was always okay with whatever we were doing in Diablo. I feel
You know,
like
it's
that
funny. I was
kinda
just
worked.
thinking, did Gears do it right? Gears had co-op the entire game, and I think both of you guys popped achievements. Both of you guys, I think, got credit for the story. I was
I
just
think
thinking
so,
about
but like when I played it through with somebody, I think.
That's exactly how I played. I'm like,
So
there's
I don't like. What if we hadn't been at the same part?
exactly.
Oh,
You know,
like
what
okay, if
happens
somebody,
then?
yeah, I go what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. But like, yeah, if he said even if it was like Quidditch was multiplayer or dueling would be
Yeah,
awesome
dueling
in that
would
game.
be good. Yeah.
That would be great in that game. With all the spells and abilities you could have, you would have like certain spells you could bring with you, and like that would be a cool multiplayer aspect of it. And if it was just built into the single player part of the game, like just go to this area where you would like search for people to fight against and stuff. Like I think that would be pretty cool. Not necessarily the whole game has to be multiplayer, but that was the only thing that felt weird is I'm like, I'm already meeting other students doing these missions.
Yeah.
Like I'm just feel like there could be some co-op stuff that'd be cool. Like when you're in fights with the other student AI, all I could think about is like, how cool would it be if that was your buddy? That's all. Like that'd be the cool stuff. But
Well, I mean, like for 76, there are different areas where there's like you can do quests together, but they don't count for each other. So if Sean and I went on a quest together, I have to collect those items as well. It's not just like a group collection.
Yeah.
Also, yesterday I was doing a daily, and obviously I had Frank with me, and so we had to go in and I had to collect idols from the Mothmen, like cultists. But there's an option that if you're the leader, people can join in. So when we walked through the doorway, it's just like join the leader of the party. So then he was able to join in on my quest. It doesn't give him any like he doesn't get that daily. We had to go do his own daily. But in that case, it was allowing him to join that particular location or that phased area, because it's not like everyone can join in at the same time. So it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. I definitely agree that there are games that don't perfect it, but I feel like in that regard, when it came to like 76, for example, even though it's a little bit of a learning curve, especially going from things like Final Fantasy 14 or other MMOs where it's just like if one person collects an item, then it counts for everybody, but then you're still looking around, and it's a learning curve, but I feel like I enjoy that a little bit more because it feels like you're getting more interactive and you're the one creating the narrative, and it's not like, oh, there's the leader and they get like, if Sean went in and said like, oh, I don't have high enough charisma, so, but I was able to have a conversation, and so their particular storyline for this particular character is different than mine because I was able to go in and do the exact same thing, but since I had high enough charisma, I was able to talk them out of a specific scenario. So it's really interesting to see that kind of dynamic.
I hadn't thought it like that is a huge plus. All I was seeing was negative as far as like the way that it was built. But you're right. Like if you join someone's game and like I ruin the content for you because of who I am, like that'd be kind of a bummer. But I'm also sure that at a certain point, like I don't know, that it could be interesting either way. But yeah, at least it doesn't like ruin it for you. And I think like sometimes it does encourage us just to like be in the game together, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Like not really playing the game necessarily together, which we have. We like for us to go, I want to go check out like those wood cabins over there. Like we didn't have to do that together at all. It just so happens that we've been playing that game like that. I don't know. I'd love to hear how other people are playing Fallout 76 because I still want to wrap my mind around this as well.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's annoying just for me personally, I don't mind necessarily if like my save file doesn't have the same progress, but if I have to redo a level because of achievements, that straight pisses me off. Like if we're playing the game, like if I'm playing, say me and Bowser are playing Gears, right? If I'm experiencing the story And I don't need my own save file to have the same type of progress, right? I really don't care. But if I have to redo the level because I didn't get an achievement because I wasn't the main person, that's
Yeah,
where I'm
that
like,
feels
all right,
bad.
that sucks. Like you're forcing me to redo it just because of this. Meanwhile, I saw everything, but you're forcing me to do it myself because of my save file. That's the thing I think that's
That's
more
fair.
frustrating, right? I mean, I wouldn't care if like my story progress didn't show like, oh, it shows you didn't beat the game. Well, I did. Me and Bowser did. It's just we played on her game. But as long as I kept the achievements for it, I kind of don't care necessarily. But yeah, when you have to replay games for achievements, that's where I get a little
That's fair.
frustrated. Yeah.
Completely fair.
But not every game has to be multiplayer. Like I said, there's games that like I think about it and I'm like, no, like I don't want that multiplayer.
They've done that before. That was
necessarily.
like the 360 era. It seemed like every game had a multiplayer mode. Kind of usually there's some sort of weird death match kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, it depends. It's not what Fallout 76 when we first got it proved is like you can't just like throw a multiplayer mode in to Fallout 4. Like kind of broke everything. Like it didn't really work. And
right.
which I mean I don't know how to make games, so maybe I'll just leave it at that. Like feel like it should be easier than that, but it obviously wasn't. So just
some
make it
games still
massively
add it.
multiplayer.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
The
little
logical
RPG.
next step.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no. Like I said, I think like for example, Ghost of Tsushima has like a multiplayer kind of mode, but at the same time, would I want the whole story to be multiplayer? No.
Well,
'Cause, like,
Elden Ring and all the Dark Souls games, like they
Yeah.
all have sort of that
The
multiplayer.
assist kind of.
Right.
I wish that was full multiplayer. You could just run around the world together.
I feel like that's next. Like
Oh.
that will burn the ground, that will burn the world down. Like everybody will lose their minds.
And then make the
Multiplayer Elden
bosses-
Ring.
Make the bosses twice as hard because there's two people there.
Well, you kind
mean-
of get that sense. You get the assists, or is that what they're called? The assists, like you can like bring someone to life, and they fight alongside you
Yeah.
in Elden
Yeah.
Ring. Like you kind of get that a little bit.
Yeah. But
mean,
that's
that would
only in like instance fights, right? Like you
Right.
can't just have a friend run around the whole world with you. That's what I want.
Wait a second. That's a real person helping me out on those boss battles in Elden Ring, or is it a bot?
No, that's
Real people.
Some of them are bots.
some are, like, but there's a way to summon real people to
Yeah.
help you.
Real? I had no. I
Yeah.
thought it was always a bot. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
some of them
dang.
it says like Sir like Lorsington,
right.
and then you're like, okay, I'll bring them in, and then
Yeah.
that's a bot because
Yeah.
then you can tell they're a bot because they do the exact same kind of actual like set of attacks. But there are other times where if you bring in an assist, because there was the lore of I think it was like was it the Cauldron Head was the guy who was running around and helping people. So there was a guy
That
who
can't be a real name.
Oh, let me solo her.
Yes, and so it was a person that just had a cauldron, and then he just had a weapon, and then he was fully like naked, other than a tunic, and he was going in and like going in with where low level characters were, and he was going and helping them beat bosses, and then he would just
That's
be like
awesome.
wave, and then he would leave, and so that's all he would
He
do.
was, but he got famous for what's her name? I think she's
Did
optional
like
to
a
fight.
streamer.
No,
Oh, no.
no, the one of the bosses.
Oh,
Now I can't think of it. But there was one in particular that's quite a tough fight. That's why he's let me solo her.
got
his
it.
Yes,
name.
because he goes and helps them. Like
He goes and helps everybody. That
Isn't there a guy
Yeah.
in Helldivers 2 like that? I think there's like a dude who does the same thing.
I
Just
imagine.
Probably.
drops
The
in and
dude.
just helps out and is like for democracy and then bounces. Like
I
he's
mean,
just like,
that would kind of be a good way to do like Harry Potter, like you were talking about, Mitch, is this like maybe having an assist in some cases where like if you go to like one of the trials and you have like a friend hop in or someone random hops in,
They could easily
or,
do that,
or it
yeah.
might just be a matter of like once you complete the game, you can then go in and be an assist for someone else, because I have like that's definitely the whole thing about those particular games in that particular like genre. Like I would say genre, that entire series as a whole is just like it's a power of friendship. So I'm shocked that they don't have some sort of multiplayer aspect.
it could have been a simple feature that just got cut due to time, just like the whole good and bad system did.
True.
So I mean, like you said, I'm just happy when good games get recognized and hopefully the developer just kind of leaves it be. And is
fair.
like, just
I don't
keep
know
doing
what
your
you just
thing.
said, Mitch, that made me think about Baldur's Gate, but I'm realizing I haven't played Baldur's Gate yet. Man, this is why I don't need to get new games.
Sean,
Baldur's Gate.
play Baldur's Gate.
Oh man, yeah, I'd like to. Yes, please.
Yes.
Fallout and Helldivers and oh my gosh,
Sean, you
and
can play Baldur's
Hellblade.
Gate with friends.
that would be great. I like playing with friends.
Probably play
Next
with
week,
your
now that
favorite.
I'm done watching Fallout, I think I might have some more. I might be back on track with maybe some Twitch. The playoffs are on right now too, though, so we gotta like this is like a Canadian blackout period. Okay, like we're all busy, you know, we're all watching hockey.
I'm not
Right.
gonna lie. I had to like I'm in a group chat with a few friends and they were talking about hockey and I had no idea what was happening. And so one of them took it upon themselves to explain it to me in K-pop terms and I understood. And I'm like,
Nice. I'd
phenomenal.
love to hear
10
that
out of 10.
explanation.
I'm like, oh, someday like we'll talk about it for sure. It was
love
just
that.
like fully like, and one of the friends was also in Discord with me, so I was like reading it out and I was just like, they did what? And then he's just like, who is that person? And I'm like, I don't know who you guys were talking about, but now I understand because she made a reference to this particular like K-pop idol.
That's a skill.
Yeah.
I was in shock. I was just like, and she was just like, that came off the cuff. And I'm like,
But wait, what
how?
were they explaining? Like how to play hockey or like the
no,
the
they were talking about
rivalries
some
between
drama.
the teams? Okay,
They
okay.
were talking about some drama. Let me just see. I'm gonna go back in the conversation because I was just like, oh my goodness, this happened, and then, oh, oh gosh, they're yelling about it. 1 second here. Oh, it was just like the Canucks weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs this year. The season's pretty much tells them they're going to be good and going in a good direction. And they were talking about Demko. I have no idea who Demko is.
Okay, yeah.
And so they're like, Demko really carried the whole thing. And I'm like, what are they talking about? I have no idea. And then they were talking about DeSmith. Why is all the of like people in hockey with like
Ds.
DE, like DeMarco,
Just a bunch of Ds.
DeSmith, like all these people, and I'm like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And so she talked about it as if what happens if V from BTS ended up getting an injury, and then so they replaced him with another person from another band, Mingyu from 17, and so then they were like, okay, we'll just bring V back early and he'll be fine, but then he gets injured again, and so they bring a whole new like guy out. They bring him Jay from in hyphen, and I'm like, what? And so it was very interesting that she had to explain it to me in those terms and I understood it, but I was just like, hockey, I should understand hockey more.
Yeah, what are you doing out
Yeah.
there?
Isn't that like Canadian
Lose
law
your
or something?
Canadian
Like, don't they
license,
teach that
yeah.
in school?
I literally live like very close to the place where they like founded hockey. It's like 30 minutes away from me, and yet my grasp on hockey is just too much. And by too much I mean it's too little.
Well,
It's too much for me.
DeSmith just won the game for the Vancouver Canucks. So
Former Penguin.
they're
DeSmith.
all giving them big hugs. They're all heading to the dressing room, heading to the showers. That's what happens afterwards. So.
Enjoy, guys.
Yeah. Have a good time, boys.
Yes, guys, enjoy.
Oh my goodness, Sean, what have you been playing?
We're
this
still in the what
week?
you're playing part.
Guys, yeah, are we?
We
sure
are.
are.
We don't need to spend a whole heck of a lot of time. I've been obviously playing Fallout 76 with
course.
Fee. I might want to have a discussion with you guys about games that are like what our parents feared when we were children. In that how addictive they are, because Brotato has its hold on me, you guys. I was up until I think 2:00 in the morning last night playing Brotato, and it's like the start is always the same. You know, it's like a 15 or 20 second wave, and you almost don't even have to move. There should be an achievement for not moving throughout an entire wave and still winning it. That should be a thing. I've tested it. It's not, as far as I can see. But like they're generally, what, Bowser, would you say, like about a half an hour to try to get to the end of 20 waves? Is that what you
Yeah, it's
give or
right about
take?
there. Yeah, it's a Vampire Survivor type run.
Totally. But they're divvied up into like each like
Yeah.
wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So it's not as continuous as Vampire Survivors. And so every time it ends, you collect a whole bunch of resourcing, and then you can go like buy some power-ups or weapons and things like that. And that is the loop, you guys. It's just long enough, and you get to make some cool decisions. And you know, the randomly presented options to you: are you gonna are you going to focus on how fast you attack? Are you going to focus on dodging enemy attacks, which is an interesting kind of strategy? So there's all these like elements to it. It's a simple looking game. The art style to it looks silly. It's very basic, very easy to understand. I just feel like it's so deep, and like Fee, you talked to me about like different deck builds with Marvel Snap, and I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing with Brotato with this. Is like depending on your starting stats, you will focus on different types of weapons and different types of power-ups, and that's checking off all the boxes for me. And I'm getting to the point where I'm chasing Chivos. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And you get to the end with each sort of like potato type or Brotato type, and then you'll get you get the well-rounded guy. You get there's one, he's like a golem, and he's really, really strong, but you can't heal him at all. And so I was getting really close there. There's another one that I think I talked to you guys about last week. He explodes when he touches anything. That one was really good. And so I'm getting like so close. I'm almost there, 19th wave. And then it's one of those things, especially in those later waves, where everything's going great. You got everything under control. But like just like Vampire Survivors, there's so many enemies coming at you. So hopefully you've balanced your dodging and your armor. Or you can like steal life back when you hit somebody, or you've got HP regeneration, things like this. So hopefully you've got it all nicely balanced. But in the 18th and 19th wave, everything's going great until it isn't. And then it's just like, and it's
Then
too
you're
late,
dead
and it's
real quick.
instant. And it's like, it's that journey that has me going, I got to try again. Like I was so close, but there's no way to fast track this. There's no way to get to like through 20 waves of this game instantly, because you start from scratch. That's the sort of roguelike kind of piece of it. And so obviously I'm enjoying this. I'm like grinning like an idiot just talking to you guys about this game. And I can't help like my wife Chelsea will come down. It's time to watch Fallout. And I'm like, I'm on wave 12. And I'm like, we can start the show, but I still got to play
I gotta
a little
do
bit of this because we do have the 2 TVs. And so it's like, it has its grasp on me. But when a game keeps me up until that time, this is why I didn't play World of Warcraft, because like, what I heard other people so addicted to that game, like it scares me like spiders or heights or just like things that people are scared of, like addictive games where I lose track of time. Like I thought it was like 11 o'clock. I look up and it's like 1:45. Like
I saw Sean on
completely-
Discord playing this so late. I don't know what I was doing up. Maybe it was like the night my wife closed or something. I looked, I'm like, Sean's playing Brotato. Did he leave the game open? Like, I know he was.
No,
he was playing
I
it.
was definitely playing it. So,
Yep.
but I keep talking to you guys about like, I want to play this game and I got to get to this one. But for whatever reason, this is the one. I fire up my Xbox and it's like, let's just do this one. So I had a moment though, like going to bed the other night, thinking that probably isn't good. And it's the same thought I had with Vampire Survivors. Like it's too much. It's too addictive. I feel like it's not good for me. It's junk food games, but it's deeper than that. Like I have an appreciation for the different like starting characters and all that stuff. So I'm really torn. I feel like some mobile games have that pure dopamine hit that's really disgusting to me. This isn't that, but it's close because of its hold on. It's like heroin, man. So I hear.
It's funny that like your parents would not let you play the game that was like super scary or shooting people
Right.
or whatever. If that's what they were afraid of.
Oh,
They
they
didn't
should
know
have been afraid
anything
of
about
this.
Brotato and Vampire Survivors. That's the
Yeah.
ones they should have been worried about.
Yeah.
It's so good though. It's so satisfying to like, you've got your right loadout and everything's great. But it's also like mindless. Like I think that's the piece that's the
Yeah.
part I haven't talked about that's really the scary part, because I turn into a potato playing it. I'm just
But
like
sometimes you need it. Like,
drooling.
you work all day, using your brain, dealing with
know.
people. Sometimes I just want to turn it off.
Shut it off.
That's what I get scared of, is I could easily just like do that forever and ever and ever. Oh man. Shout out
Star
to
Athena's
Brotato.
right in chat. It just has to run its course. You just gotta let it happen.
Just let it do its thing. Yeah.
Yep. Eventually
Can't
you'll be
fight
done.
Yeah. It
And
felt
then
like I was
Vampire
making a
Survivors
decision.
puts out more DLC and I have to go back. So
Vampire Survivors is even more just silly though. Like the music, like the first time you play it and the music kicks in, it's just like this is incredible. What a time. The other thing that comes to mind, sorry, I know I'm going on here, but the other thing that comes to mind while I'm playing a game like Brotato is I stare at my Xbox Series X and all those teraflops in that thing,
Yeah,
all
this is
the
what I'm doing.
power, and I'm playing Brotato. Like, oh my gosh, I should be doing something else. Anyway, I'm having a lot of fun playing my game of the year, Brotato, on my
Hey,
Series
as
X.
the person in the gaming funk, if you're having fun, just keep doing it.
Just do it.
Right.
Yeah,
Just do
that's
it.
true. That's true. Yeah, because
You
it
gotta
is.
force it. You might not want, you
Yeah.
might come away and like, I didn't want to play that. No, I don't like it.
I can't see in the chat. Says Sean, have you tried Balatro? I thought that said Sean, have you tried Brotato? I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm actively talking
So
about
I'm
that
glad
right
I
now,
didn't do
yeah.
that. That would have been embarrassing. I haven't played the card game of the year, as it were.
It's so good. It's
Yeah,
so
Fee
good.
likes it.
It's very addicting, and it is one of those games where you're just like, oh, I've only been playing this for 40 minutes, and you're like, oh, it's been 4 hours. I need to go do something with my life.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Because it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, I just you go through around like a few rounds, and then you're like your line ends, and then they're just like the Joker makes fun of you because you messed up, and then you're like, oh, I'll just play a little bit more. I'll just play another like round. I'll play another round. I'll play another round, and then you're like, oh, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. Well, I
But-
need to go to bed now.
This is how sick I am, Fee. Like, I wasn't even trying to tell myself just one more round. I knew it wasn't one more round. I'm like, there's no telling when the end is. Like, that's how broken my brain was on this. And I knew it. Like, I'm just aware. It's sort of like when I'm going through shorts on YouTube or whatever, and I'm like, sometimes I'll get to the point where I'll go, okay, one more. And then, you still go 5, 10, 15, 20 more.
That
whatever
one
it
more
is.
game is a bad habit. Man.
But
It's
sometimes you don't even try to trick yourself into thinking there's
Yeah,
one more.
I'm just
Well,
here
see,
for now.
You just know.
yeah.
That's how I was with like Darkest Dungeon when I first played
Yes.
it, or when I first played when I played XCOM, or when I played I'm still playing every so often Loop Hero. So it's one of those things where you just get lost in the game, which is fantastic. That's definitely a testament to the people who make Brotato. I don't know who. I've never even honestly shout out to them. But yeah, games like that, that's what I love about certain games, is just like you feel like you don't have to be thinking about the time, or yeah, sometimes it is one of those things where you feel like, oh, I'll just play a little bit more, but other times it's just like do like kind of just lose it, and then you're like, oh, it's been super long. It has definitely not just been 30 minutes. So
Looks like it's by Seven Studio. It's spelled like heaven, but with an S. But this game rules.
there are video game rehab centers in Korea if you need them. I don't need it.
I might.
Thank you very much.
I don't have a problem.
Thank you.
I don't have a problem.
I didn't have an addiction for 5 years on a game called World of Warcraft. I didn't play
That
Raid 6 night
genuinely
weeks.
scared me. Like I didn't, because they're like, oh, get your free trial disc at Future Shop or Best Buy. I'm like, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that is a drug dealer move. I know about that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
First hit's free. Like, come on, man.
do you know how many hours you put into World of Warcraft? Fee?
At one point, I knew that I had 200 days on one character.
That is in one character.
On one character, and that was just one of my characters. And that doesn't include, like, that was on my shaman, which was my main one that I first started off with. I don't know my others. I could not tell you, but I have 10. I had 10.
I was gonna say, jeez. Okay, I was gonna tell you how many hours I put into Apex, but then you said 200 days on one character. And, yeah, because I currently, I also side note, Xbox, can you just make it easier for me to see how many hours I've played a damn game instead of me having to go into like compare with friends achievements, even though it's not an achievement.
There's
It's a weird
stats. You
thing.
can just go to stats on the game.
Just go to stats.
I don't know why, but for some reason, like I maybe I just don't know where I'm looking. But yeah, I looked the other day because somebody's like, "How many hours you have in Apex?" I have 186 days in Apex, and it's like 4,000 hours or something, and I still love it to death.
I have 21 hours into Brotato at this stage. I'm trying to show you, and that's not working at all. So my apologies. But I've got 21 and a half hours of Brotato. Oh my God.
My goodness. I just realized, and I was trying to show it earlier. I was just like, oh, what it like? I wanted to check the achievement for Manor Lord. For it's called like the very first achievement and the only achievement I have is called Start the Game, and the flavor text or the description is yay. That's it. Nothing less.
I need a
nothing,
yay achievement.
Just
I'm
a
gonna
yay!
save that for when I need daily achievements for next month.
Just
Right.
yay.
Quest completionist.
So
Argue
cute.
that.
10
I
out of
love it.
10.
Anyway,
Can't be wasting that on a month. I already got the 1K bonus.
Right.
Gotta save
Well,
those for hard
that's-
days.
that's the what we're playing segment of the show.
It was a very short segment, guys.
Yeah.
It
only an
could
hour
be
and a
the
half.
show.
Yeah.
It really could be.
I mean, it could be. I had a lot of fun talking. I feel like we talked about a lot of topics within our what we've
Look
been
at
playing,
us. I
which
think
has
we're
been
doing
fantastic.
Man, we're good at podcasting.
I feel like we are.
I think we might be.
We might be. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, we are. I agree.
What else do we
are.
do on this show?
Every once in a while, we let some of our friends into the carpool with us. We got a few people that are waiting on the sidewalk, hoping to jump in.
Thumb out, like, pick me up, please. I'm not a
Hitchhiking.
crazy person.
Booyah said, I played the Snacko demo, and it was quite cute and wholesome. I agree. That's a wonderful game so far. I've also been trying to finish the story of Ayuden Chronicles Rising so I can start 100 Heroes. Oh, and have you heard of a little game called Dave the Diver? Yeah,
Diver.
that's also loads of fun. So, Booyah's hitting some good games here. I was tempted to increase my PS Plus subscription just to play Dave the Diver.
Oh, that reminds me, I got to cancel my PS Plus subscription. They sent me the notice that it's going to charge
direction.
again.
Okay.
Well, it's like $90 for a year. I'm like, no, we're not doing
If you
that.
cancel and wait a bit,
PlayStation.
they'll give you a cheap rate again.
Oh, really?
They hit you with that loyalty.
We
that
just
loyalty
talked about
thing?
that's amazing.
It goes on sale all the time if you're not
Yeah, no,
already
I gotta-
subscribed.
I gotta cancel
Yeah.
it.
I did the strat of before it went official, like the strat, but like before when it's like pay for Xbox Live for up to 3 years and then redeem 1 month of gold and it upgrades everything. I did that
that's
same
amazing.
thing. I did that same thing with PlayStation though. When they were doing their premium thing, I like found a cheap thing for PlayStation Now, added this comboed it all up, and now I have 3 years of premium. So yeah, I
Nice.
although I don't play much on it, but maybe one day
Yeah.
I will. You know what I mean?
But yeah, if Dave the Diver were available on Xbox, I would have bought it this week.
I don't think I realized it wasn't. What the heck? Need more
It just came to
teraflops.
PlayStation.
All the teraflops.
It's
Not
on
enough teraflops.
Switch. Come on now.
Right.
Let's see. What else do we got? Quaggy says Disney's Wish ended up being really good and my kids love it. I regret listening to the critics at release because we had originally planned to take my 2 eldest to see it in the theater and decided against it. How much do critics impact you in the movies, shows, games, etc. that you consume? What do you think, Sean?
I think probably too much, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the maybe a recent example. What's that? Rebel Moon. I think the Zack Snyder thing that's going on,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know. Maybe it's just unanimous in this case that everybody hates it, critics and audiences alike. But like, I'm not giving that thing a second thought. Mainly just because I've heard it's not very good. So I think one thing though I do struggle with is kind of like separating like where the opinions are coming from. Sometimes games or movies or things like that just kind of have an aura, you know? And I don't know if I'm separating, oh, this is what the critics said versus this is what the community is saying versus whatever. Like sometimes I don't know, it's more of a culmination of stuff that, yeah, I think totally impacts me. And I would argue that it impacts everyone. Anybody who says otherwise is just lying to themselves maybe a little bit or underestimating that the influence that can occur. Yeah.
What do you think, Fee?
I mean, I've definitely hit my fair share this year because I've been getting into reading a lot more, and so as someone who is chronically on TikTok all the time, there's an area called Book Talk where people like make book recommendations, and so there was certain books where everyone was just like, "Oh my gosh, I love this book," and then I go and read it, and I'm like, I wish I could get those hours back. This
right.
book wasn't good. I don't know if I read the same book. I feel I don't know what happened. So there are definitely times where I feel like it's definitely swayed for sure. And I agree with Sean. If people say that they're not swayed by critics, then definitely. There have been times where I'll watch movies where people say it's not a very good movie, and the critics say it's not a very good movie, and I'm like, I had a lot of fun with that movie.
I haven't given Halo a second. I haven't even considered watching the Halo show because of what people say about it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's just there's certain times where and I understand, especially when it comes to the critics, where they're this has to be a critically acclaimed movie, or this has to be above and beyond video game, or the same thing with certain books as well. And then you're just sometimes you need to have that I'm just shut off my brain and just watch nonsense for 2 hours.
I just want to be entertained for a bit.
I just want to be entertained. I'm not looking for the Oscars. I'm not looking for Game of the Year. I'm just looking for something that makes me happy.
Yeah.
You're playing Brotato. Some of the games that have really stood out to me are games that haven't been on the top of everyone's radar. And that's honestly it, as long as it makes me happy. Of course there are going to be times where I am swayed by critics. One Halo, for example. But also I was in last year, when it came to Baldur's Gate, I was just I didn't know about it. It was just on my, it wasn't on my radar, and then people kept on commenting on it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should try it. And then I played 800 hours of it. So it's just I got influenced by it, and honestly, I'm happy about it. But there's certain times where you're just oh, I'm not going to play this game because I've heard not so great things, or oh,
Baldur's Gate got me on both ends. They got me in early access. It was sitting on OpenCritic at 60. It got reviewed in early access, and it was there was nothing about it. People were wondering why didn't they hear anything about it. If you did, it wasn't good before Baldur's Gate came out, and then it hit, and it's just and now it's the best thing ever. So it got me to ignore it because I knew that critically it wasn't doing so great in early access, and then it got me wanting to play it when it released, and everybody was going nuts about it. It's that's my point. So that's kind of how I experience it.
Yeah, it's definitely I always try to I definitely am one of those people that influence, for example, books. I get influenced by the cover. I know people are don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes I do, okay? It's the same thing with video games. I'm that's a really pretty. I have a book back there that has a foil, the sides of the actual pages are this teal foil color. It's a beautiful book. But is it going to make the book any better? Probably not. But I've heard one on the side note, it's apparently a really good book. But it's the same thing with video games. I'll be oh, this seems right up my alley, or oh, I'm going to play this. One of a game I played a few years back, it was Monster Train, which is a deck builder. Not many people talked about it, but I love that game. So it's just I definitely think that critics have an effect, but sometimes you need to create your own path, is my thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Mitch? You get swayed by the critics?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's simple as that. So the way I look at things, though, is twofold. One, I personally like individual reviewers reviewing things. Example, I can trust a particular person because our likes and dislikes have aligned, right? So if a particular individual is I really like this game, I'm more inclined to think, oh, I probably will too, based off of X, Y, and Z, right? My thing for me is if critics don't like it, but audience does, that makes me more inclined, because I'm if I'm already a fan of this and the audience seems to like it, then I'm more inclined to like it, regardless if critics think it sucks, right? Example, the newest Ghostbusters movie. I haven't seen it. Okay. Critics weren't too kind to it. Audience score, though, is really good. So it's fans of Ghostbusters, me, probably like this movie because the audience score is really good, right? So even if it's critically not acclaimed, whatever. Now, there are things, though, that are critically acclaimed and audience acclaimed that I have no interest in, that make me go, maybe I should care about this. Shadow of War. That's what happened with that. I don't care about Lord of the Rings, but everybody loved it. So I'm and it was at that moment, I'm I need something new to play. Why don't I just play that? But if critics don't like it and an audience doesn't like it, I know it's trash and I shouldn't watch it or play it or whatever. And that's where I'm just kind of like, in a certain way, like I have a certain amount of time that I have available to do those things that I like, right? So those are those things that I'm like, I want to not waste my time. I don't want to play this game and have it suck and be like, dude, critics said it sucked. Audience said it sucked. Why did I waste my time? Right? Yeah. What am I expecting? But like I said, I think individuals though can be a big factor too, because even if audience and critics say it sucked, but this person that I like on the reviews says it's good, then cool. I mean, I definitely play games that people say suck, aka Kingdom Hearts. I just again, I like it, and it doesn't matter if it sucks or not. I'm going to continue to play it regardless of what people say.
I think enough people say that they like it for that to
right.
work out.
Exactly. I mean, it still sells millions of copies and stuff, so obviously people do like it. But I think just based off my time that I have available, I do look at that stuff. You know what I mean? Example, Aquaman 2. I was like, I saw the critics reviews and they were trash. And then I saw audience reviews and it was trash. And I was just like, I'm not going to bother wasting my time. And then my wife got bored and she put it on and I was just watching it and I'm like, everybody was right. It was not good at all.
I was not expecting
so
that.
again, I'm glad that, like I said, I definitely do pay attention to it, but also like, just because it gets bad reviews from people, it doesn't necessarily sway me if I have a particular reviewer that I agree with who thinks it's good. So, I mean, it's for somebody to say I'm never swayed by it, that's a lot. Come on.
Yeah.
I do love the people who will find the games and play kind of regardless. Like I think about like Donnie Reese from PSVG. He'll often go like, is this that bad? And like Callisto Protocol is a great game, a great example of that, where he really liked it. And I loved his take on it. Like, I feel like there's fewer and fewer like quote unquote reviewers who I look to the individual. But I've always really appreciated the way that Donnie does it. Seth does a wonderful job of it as well. So yeah, it's good to have those people that you can kind of trust the process that they have, and they're not going to get like I can get hung up on like one or two things and go like game's trash, and it's not the experience that everybody else has. So
sure. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the individual reviewer though can be ultimate deciding factor regardless of who says what, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was particularly at IGN, but I felt like they were very biased on Nintendo stuff. I don't know who it was. But every
Otero?
Nintendo game was like a 9. Actually, yeah.
I think it was.
It was him. Yeah. He would give like every Nintendo game at least a 9 out of 10, and I'm like I didn't want to do the John Cena meme, but like, are you sure about that? Like, are you sure you're not just super high into Nintendo? And I think he actually ended up working for Nintendo at one point in time. But I'm just like, there's certain reviewers though that sometimes they say things and I'm like, it actually sways me the opposite way. I'm like,
right.
All right, dude, you're just saying this because it's X, Y, or Z product or your favorite thing. But also too, that's the whole point about it. Some people get individually swayed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to say Kingdom Hearts games are good, even though that, I just have a bias towards that. Even though sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not, Sean. Not all the time, but sometimes.
I'm just trying to pull JB back out of the chat here. So
I mean, I definitely find that I'm more inclined to take the voice of the people rather than critics, because I find some critics are just like, they'll like just review bomb or just have like, they're looking for like the game of the year or like an Oscar worthy like movie or like the next Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, okay, I need to like look at the viewers. Oh, the viewers had a lot, like, or the players had a lot of fun with it, or if a friend says, hey Fiona, you should play this game. Mind you, I haven't gotten to every single game people have recommended to me, because if I did, I would be just playing video games for the rest of my life, which is, I wish, but at the same time, I definitely go with like more of the viewer or the like non-critics side more than that, because I find critics can be overly judgmental, which, shocker, they're critics, but at the same time, like, I also don't agree with them most of the time. So
the famous Siskel and Ebert thing where they ripped Ace Ventura to shreds. They said Ace Ventura was terrible. It was awful. Jim Carrey's not funny, blah, blah, blah. And then like, I think it was like, I can't remember, it was like 5 or 10 years later, they actually like retracted it. They were just like, we were way too critical. We had no idea what we were watching. We had no idea what we were saying. Like, this is genius. This is whatever. So, I mean, it's like sometimes critics have those, right? Where they're just overly critical about it, or they have like a certain bias and they say things. And then later that was the funniest one though. They were just like, how wrong were we on Jim Carrey not being funny? Like, what is wrong with us? Because again, you base it off one thing, but sometimes your opinions change down the road. So, I mean, we've all had those rose-colored glasses of us having a moment of why this is so good. And you look back and you're like,
yeah. I mean, like,
or vice versa.
Oh, sorry, go Bozo.
I like to have a reviewer that is a fan of the genre or the IP or something like that. Like, I don't want the person that only plays deck builders telling me whether or not Elden Ring's good. Right? I want someone who's familiar with that type of game who can tell me why it's better than the other things, or here's where it misses, you know, that type of stuff. Like, anybody can say, yeah, this is fun or not, but I want someone who knows what that type of game is, or like if it's a particular IP, like if it's Lord of the Rings, I want someone who has some interest in that, knows kind of what's going on, to say, yeah, this fits the lore, you know. It doesn't have to be canon. I don't care about that. Like, but you know, this feels like a Lord of the Rings thing. You're going to be happy if you're a fan of that. So
agreed.
That's what I like. But I'm more
that's why I like the podcast. That's why I'm obviously biased towards like the channel or this medium of podcasting, because it's a discussion and you don't always get like that background from somebody in a written review, because I also think like it's valuable just to know one way or another whether or not somebody has experience in, or they're a fan of the genre, or they're a newcomer to the genre as well. Like, I think that would be still a valuable perspective to have, especially if I'm somebody who's like new to the genre. Like, so it'd be interesting to see. Elden Ring is such a great example to use to demonstrate the point. So it's like you've got somebody who's played every single, you know, Dark Souls game, Bloodborne, everything, and they jump into this, and then this is their opinion, versus somebody who has never played any of those things, and this is their opinion. So long as you know like what their background is, I think that that's fascinating to know. But it, like I said, it's kind of trickier to get in a kind of a written review, and most people don't really disclose that. But I feel like when we have like discussions, and in podcast form, when you have like a discussion about it, you kind of get that, you either get that sense, or you explicitly will talk about like what's your background with this, or like what was your hype level getting into this game,
Someone's
things
gonna
like
ask you
that.
about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why I like certain websites, when you go to click the reviewer's name, how it's like, here's all their previous reviews. Like, you can gather your own opinion based off your own experience on what the other games, what they disliked or liked. So, but yeah, you're right. Like, if I were to play Elden Ring and give you a review based off somebody who's played every Dark Souls game, yeah, it's gonna be completely different. Completely different. So, and that's not necessarily a good or bad thing, because also some people want that perspective too, right?
Right. Yeah.
I've never played an
wrong with either
RPG.
perspective.
Yeah. It's like, I've never played an RPG. Would I like this RPG or not? Or would this get me into the genre, or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Like, that's also another thing too. That's also sometimes what people play into. Like, this is my first Souls game. Here's my perspective. Well, this is my first Souls game too. I wonder what I would like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
it's all
That's what
subjective.
got me into it. People saying that it was their first Souls game, and I'm like, well, that's going to be me. So should I do this, or am I just going to beat my head against the wall and be mad that I spent the money on it?
Right.
So I used my Xbox rewards to buy it, so I wouldn't feel bad.
Makes sense. There you go.
But I'm far more likely to follow a recommendation of an individual person in our Discord than any particular reviewer on the internet.
True.
Yeah.
Someone that I've seen what other games they like, I kind of know what's their thing, and say, okay, we align. If you say this is a good game, I'm going to play it.
Buddy recommendations are always the best. When you like have a buddy and you're like, is this game trash, dude?
Yep.
Yeah, it's trash. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know. Thanks, Buzz.
Yep.
Good question.
Yeah.
Absolutely good question.
Fantastic.
All came from
Cwaggy.
Disney's Wish.
Yeah, right. Heads up, haven't seen it. There's actually a lot of stuff on Disney Plus I haven't watched yet that I absolutely need to.
X-Men 97, I got to finish. I watched the first 2 episodes.
Side
Good
note,
stuff.
speaking of X-Men 97, there is a fantastic Xbox that is currently on a sweepstakes right now. If you go to Xbox on Twitter, they're giving away.
Don't bother.
an
Kevin
X-Men
Ainsworth
97.
is already going to win it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. However, the one thing that I will say that I'm a little frustrated by, because they have this controller. They have controllers themed. They're Xbox Design Lab controllers that they designed specifically to theme to Wolverine, Beast, Gambit, all these characters. and they come in this special packaging, like old school action figures, that like
Yes.
blister packaging. However, they're not anywhere on the site.
Yeah.
I don't know where to give you money, Xbox, for a Gambit controller. Please,
And,
just
they
like
don't want
let
your
me
money.
give you money. Yeah, like I'm Fry. Just take my money. Like there's nowhere on the Xbox Design Labs to buy it. I've gone to the site numerous times, and like they have the Fallout controllers, the Fallout custom controllers that you can do, and they talk about it like, oh, here's these X-Men controllers that you can buy from the design, and they're just not there. And I don't get it.
You gotta
It's a
design it
cool
yourself
packaging.
using their
You
color
could
scheme.
design it yourself. You absolutely could. I just like the packaging. Like that.
craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
Gotta-
they do
you
that
gotta earn it.
sometimes though. They, one thing I'll give them credit for is like when the NFL, like when football started, like they had a section where you could like click on a team and it already had like a pre-made,
Oh,
here's
yeah.
our version of Design Lab for this team's colors. I thought that was awesome because that's an easy thing that just one guy can make all these controller colors and you can easily sell them as like, this is the Dallas Cowboys controller. This is the Chicago, whatever. And that's what I
I
thought
would
they were
love
doing
that.
with this. And I'm like, awesome. You guys pre-packaged, you made this controller awesome. You have awesome packaging. Can I give you money? And so far the
Just
answer
let
is
us
no.
buy it.
Let
I
us buy it.
reacted. You reminded me. I think it was last week, Mitch. I was whining and complaining about Xbox's marketing and so on and
Mm-hmm.
so forth. And this week in Xbox being the most boring thing I've ever heard of in
Mm-hmm.
forever. And I think this week they announced that they're going to do an indie showcase.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. Thank you. Is it an indie one or a Game Pass one?
It
What
is.
was it? Is it an
It's,
indie
ID,
showcase?
it's an ID at
ID.
Xbox One.
Are we doing anything for this? Are we streaming it? Are we?
I think it's Seth and I.
Who? Seth?
Seth and I.
Nice.
I'll be working.
It almost sounded like you were going to say Sephiroth.
Wow, apparently Xbox tweets a lot.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yes.
I'm trying to find it. Like, tune in April 29th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. It says this announcement is brought to you by Great Indie Games. So yeah, like they're gonna have that. Not sure how long the conference is.
That's
Also
what I was
inclu-
looking for. If it's
Yeah.
one of those 4-hour Twitch things that they used to do.
Nah, they did that
Right.
like they got a lot of
It'll
flack
probably be
for
like a
that one,
30-minute
and-
thing for it.
Yeah.
Also, quick side note: Star Wars Jedi Survivor is currently on Xbox Game Pass. Please go play that game.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
That
It's
one
phenomenal.
I bought. That was the last game I bought in 2023, and then I got distracted with something else, and it's like, oh, I could have waited, but it goes to show that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I didn't need to buy that game, or I could have waited for it to be available from the library again. But in any case, that game is super fun. I haven't beaten it, but I played a pretty good portion of it anyways, and I think that game is totally underrated, totally underappreciated for some strange reason. I don't really get it, but people should play it. It's super fun.
I really wish I don't mind downloading again because the only thing I will say, and this was actually really the only complaint I have about that game, it ran like trash. Like it was
At
not
launch, it did.
optimized. And I played it immediately because I was a super fan.
Yeah,
Like, I wanted to play it
yeah.
right
At
away.
launch day,
But
it
like,
was not good.
it ran like butt, and that was the only thing that like I was really bummed out about because like everything else about the game is awesome.
It's better now.
And it is better now. So that's why I wouldn't mind, like, again, it's with Game Pass, re-download it, load up my save, do some side missions maybe with the updates and see how much better it looks or how much better it runs.
Do it.
That's the only thing that I was like bummed out about that game, but now that problem is fixed. So yeah, go play Jedi Survivor.
Yep.
Fantastic game.
Good.
All right. Next up, we got CrocoKyle. He says, is there any achievement in a video game that you're particularly proud of, whether because of how long it took or because of the sheer amount of skill it required? For me, maybe not Xbox related, but Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was my first platinum and my favorite series of all time, so that one holds a deep place in my heart. Curious to hear about your proudest Chivos. Mitch looks very excited to tell me what his is.
Ladder of Steel in Rock Band.
Oh yeah.
Ladder of Steel. I beat the entire game, expert guitar. It took 8 something hours. And by the way, expert guitar, you can't pause, you can't fail. I had to beat every single game. And if I was going to do it, because there's an achievement for doing the endless set list on expert, right? That's an achievement as well. And I was like, I'm not doing this damn thing twice.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm not doing this damn thing twice. I'm doing it right now. And I made sure I got brand new batteries for the guitar, because if the guitar died, paused, achievement failed, can't do it. So I got brand new batteries.
For
Yeah,
real?
for real, 100%. Because technically, when the controller dies, it
brutal.
pauses the game, and that was a comment. That was a complaint online. Everybody was like, "Anybody doing this, get fresh batteries. I don't care how brand new your batteries are. Put brand new batteries in that thing before you start. Because if it turns the controller off, paused, failed." So and like I remember,
Vicious.
my wife was gone for the day. Kids were in school. I was off work, and
Clear.
I a whole day. I was like, I got this.
I'd be so
And
nervous.
I cruised because I also played a ton of Guitar Hero. Like I already was, I'm decent at the game. I haven't played in a long time now, but like I was competent. I was very confident. Like, oh, I'm good. And then like the last 6 songs is where I got real nervous because I was just like, okay, like these because I knew the parts in the songs that were going to give me the hardest part of the songs, and I'm just like, we'll just play it cool, and again, just like don't fall asleep playing the easy ones. Because that was the other thing that sucked too. Like the first 60, in my opinion, were just boring. Because I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, did that. And like I said, that's probably the number one, I would say. That's a pretty good one.
Nice.
What do you
about
got
you,
in
Fee?
mind, Sean? Oh,
Or Sean.
whoever
I'm
wants
gonna
to
go-
go.
I'll
wants
go
to
the
go?
opposite direction. That takes skill and ingenuity and patience. I have all of the achievements in Rocket League, at least the original set, which include, I think, driving 10 kilometers or 10,000 kilometers or some huge distance or something. And so I did the trick where you get a couple rubber bands and you leave it overnight. So you have it so that it just turns in circles. Yeah. So I woke up the next morning and polished that sucker off, and I was
That's how you
quite
get stick
pleased
drift.
with myself.
That's how you
Yep.
get stick drift. Just stuck your analog stick left.
Yep. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Did
Yeah.
you wrap the rubber band around the whole controller to the other analog stick where
Oh,
they were
yeah.
both like, yeah.
No, kind of like crisscross. So
Uh-huh.
there's one rubber band for the trigger so that you're gassed up, and then you got your things kind of.
There was
Turn
probably
in
an
the right
online
direction.
tutorial on that. Like, here's how you do the rubber band.
There absolutely is a tutorial for that.
That's so funny. That is funny.
Yep, that's my shout out.
All right, Fee, what do you got?
I think like the achievements that I got in WoW were probably the biggest ones that was most exciting for me. Like exploring all of the areas in Wrath of the Lich King. Like that was when you were able to go like you have to go around Eastern Kingdom and Kalandar, but not have fly mounts because at that point you couldn't fly in Eastern Kingdom. So I ran around on my mount for hours to get those achievements because that was a huge thing. It was just a time sink. A lot of them were just time sinks.
Yeah.
Over 9,000 before Cataclysm, which was huge. That's because usually like even like massive achievements in WoW used to only give like 10 points. So like that was a huge time thing once again. Also I think like one of the ones that like stood out for me, and it's one that I constantly remember, is I got a mount that has a 0.007% drop rate, which is the Fiery Warhorse. When I first went into Karazhan, the WoW chat has summoned you. So it was my very first run of Karazhan, and that mount people fought over. There was like guilds that like got demolished because of this particular mount. And I went in with my friend and we were just going through, and they did free roll for the mount. They're just like, holy moly, this particular mount dropped. It never drops. Some people have been waiting years for this mount. I roll and I get a 96 and I win this mount. And I'm like, what is this? And some people like straight up left the raid. They're like, this is BS. This person shouldn't have gotten it. And I'm like, what is it? And my friend was just like, it's a mount. I still don't have that mount yet. I mean, I spent I will say hundreds of hours trying to get the Time Lost Proto Drake, and I still don't. I never, like, I left that game not having that in my possession, which was a massive sad time. Mostly because I just read manga the entire time. As a heads up, that one has a spawn chance every 7 hours, so you had to stay in one particular location, and also in that particular spawn, there's a chance that another actual like creature would come in, a legendary creature. So there was a chance of that, and
Just hang on. Can we just
Yes.
pause on this for a second?
sure.
I am fascinated by this, and it's similar to like shiny drops in Pokemon and
Yeah.
things like this.
Right.
You are highly aware that
Yes.
these are lottery-esque odds.
Yes.
This is like being struck
You
by lightning, and you
still-
sign up for it, and you
Yeah.
do the dang thing.
Yeah, like I farmed. I sat on a cliff, or sometimes I would just be on a mount for hours upon hours. I finished anime series. I finished manga in that area. People would just be like, "Oh, where's Fiona? Oh, she's in Storm Peaks. She's trying to get that mount again."
God.
And one time, I had an opportunity. One time, and someone straight up killed me for that mount. And they killed me, and they got the mount, and then they left. And
War never
I
changes.
was so upset that I stopped trying at that point. I think at that point it was like 200 hours in, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
I would hate it.
Actually,
That
I have
sounds
the
brutal.
last time. I actually have the time lost Proto Drake. After basically sitting there for 40. Ryan understands. I'd be working on homework. I'd have the game open. I'd be like doing other things. I'd have the game open, and I would go and constantly check. Yeah, it was
Amazing.
so it was a huge time
You
sink.
WoW players, you fascinate me. This is what I was
Right.
afraid of all those
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, well, you made a good choice.
Yeah, I graduated university.
Bowser's has got like 30,000 achievements, so
Well,
there's gotta be one.
I think
Couple.
on the achievement side, probably the best is the Elden Ring. I got all the
Yeah.
achievements, right? That's
That's
pretty,
pretty awesome.
fun.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And then I'd say for a trophy side, it's got to be the Returnal Platinum.
Nice.
And I did that like before they made the game easier. And by easier, I mean like you could save mid-run, and RNG was a little more favorable after some updates. I did it the hard way.
Nice. You got the real one.
I got the
You got the
real
real
one. All these other people were fake platinum holders.
Right.
It's just a platinum coated trophy.
Right.
You know
It's
what?
fake plat.
You know what? No, my favorite one right now is my Manor Lords one that says "Start the game," and the only thing is
Yes.
yay. That is
Yeah,
fantastic.
I like
10 out of
that.
10. I'm gonna shout them out again because I still can't believe it, and it's just like a person standing on a rock, like they have their foot on a rock. It's like an old school drawing, and then that's it. You got 50 G's. I don't even know what that means because I do not fathom gold. I guess I think maybe
Gamer
Gamer score.
Gamer score. Here I am. Gold.
It feels like gold sometimes.
Yeah,
It does.
it feels good. Yeah.
In your
Yeah.
soul.
I think the Simpsons movie game or something had one for just pausing the game. That was like, please press start. It was just
Yeah.
that was an achievement when you
That
paused
game,
the game. it
that
gave you an
game
achievement.
rules. That game's
Yep.
great.
Another achievement I just thought of that came to mind too, because I was just like, what are some other ones? And this is for all my Titanfall 2 people. Become the Master, which is there's that trial that's in the game where it's like the loop of like you having to
Oh,
do
it's
this
so hard.
course.
Like the training. Nice.
Yep, the training thing. Yeah. So that's one of those that's like grinding, trying to do it over and over. And it's one of
Yeah,
those like if
speed
you
running.
mess up, like you mess up one little thing to do, you're not getting it. So that was one of those I definitely grinded. But again, just a massive Titanfall 2 fan. I was like, I gotta get this. So yeah, that was definitely one. That was another one of those. That's more just like a same thing with Elden Ring, right? It's just insanely hard. And you're just like, "Yes, I did it. Very proud.
I mean, once you beat it, like, you might as well do the whole thing. Was my
Right.
thought on it.
Right.
I guess.
Like, why not?
Sounds like if
Hey.
you like to just punish yourself,
That's
You had to-
Sure.
sure.
well,
Say it.
you could either save scum, which I tried and I failed miserably at. It didn't work for me. So then I went to New Game Plus and then New Game Plus Plus.
Nice.
And those were easier than the first playthroughs, and I didn't do any leveling. Like, it just boosted you up enough that it worked out. Those were the easy runs.
Nice.
All right, we got one more person trying to jump in the car with us. I think it's a good one to end the show on. The Goobla King writes in, said, if you could create any topic about Xbox to talk about, what would it be and why? And my answer to that is, we do what we want.
We do what we want.
Yeah.
We do what we want.
We don't need
Every
topics.
week.
Ain't nobody telling us what to do. We do what we want.
That's true.
Like we did
This
whole
worked out
show.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say.
We're still over 2 hours. We didn't even have a topic.
Just
If we had a
chatting,
topic, could be here for another 3 days.
right? And we got some Xbox news in there. We got some Xbox stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Still
we
making
did
the
it,
show.
guys.
New
yeah.
releases?
New releases, new Game Pass things.
Yeah.
You know, favorite
How to get that
achievements,
achievement on Rocket League with elastic bands.
Yeah.
finding out who Sean's favorite co-host is. You know, there's so many things
Oh
that we've learned today.
no!
It's like
No,
the
we need
best.
to move past that. No, I know.
It's fine.
Wow.
Some of us have already moved past it. Some of us haven't.
I would like to say, like, maybe to actually answer the question, like, I'd love to do some like deep dives on some game series. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Like, I really like what they Ryan and Garrett do on the RPG Cave. I think that would be super fun. I'd love to like spend a good, at least chunk of the episode, or even a whole entire thing. Like what is like, or like we talked about before, like battle royale games, first person shooters. Like, just sit down with Mitch about that, and you know, everything. Everybody can kind of have something like that and bring a game or a series to the table. I think that'd be really fun.
Those
Or that
nights we
episode,
might have to
people get
start
those
with that.
classes. Yeah. People will get those first person. I'll do the first person one if he's like, all right, guys, well, let me get my glasses and my medicine so I don't get motion sickness and talk about first person
Dang.
shooters. It happens.
I would love to be able to play them, okay? But
I bet. No. It sucks that you can't. It really does. I would be bummed out, like, if that was the case, you know.
no. Mitch, there is a clip online somewhere, and it's just people trying to explain to me how to play Apex. And I was just so done by that point that I like just jumped off a cliff. I was
You
just
need
like,
a
I don't
K-pop
know.
explanation.
I needed
Yeah.
a K-pop exclamation, and no one explained it correctly, and I was just like, I can't do this. I just can't. And I took motion sick meds to play
Damn.
that night, and I was still like, it was 2 hours
Dedication.
in.
Man.
I tried. Apparently, it didn't help. Still, I definitely agree with Sean. I think it would be really cool to be able to do kind of some deep dives. I also I think one of my favorite topics that we had was like the hidden gems kind of pod. Like, that was a huge one for me. I loved that episode, and I would love to sit down and maybe even get like, if we had someone come on. Maybe one of us has to take a night off, so we bring someone else in, hearing their kind of hidden gems of Xbox.
Love it.
Because there's some really great games out there that just people overlook. I know I'm definitely that person, and I try to rectify that. So just hearing what people are enjoying overall is definitely the biggest thing. I just like being able to hear people get really excited about games that they love.
Same.
Yeah.
Because yeah, sure, you could have a conversation about new games that are coming out, but I want to hear about that game that came out 15 years ago that you love, and let me listen to you for like 30 minutes talk about it.
Oh, we could talk about Unreal if you want. It's more than 15 years
No.
ago, but we could do it. Oh man.
I mean, even like earlier when we someone was like, I think it was, I don't know what was the mention. I don't remember the specific topic, but it was just like, there's a game that I really enjoyed, and I thought it was like the best game ever when I was younger, and it was like a game, literally it was like warriors, like great warriors. It's Joan of Arc, and it was specifically like her going and trying to collect all of her legion to go and save Orleans, which, if you know the story of Joan of Arc, it does not go so well in Orleans, let me tell you. But yeah, stuff like that, just like having
Nice.
conversations about just games that you might not think that other people want to hear about. I want to hear about it. I
love that we can be, and in Carpool we can have like the unique podcasts that talk and celebrate about video games. That is amazing to me. I love it. Thank you everybody for doing the same thing. All the other shows are the same, and everybody's whining, complaining, and nobody's happy and with what they have, and it's like, we're just talking about games over here, man, and it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Because we do what we want.
We do what we want.
That's right.
Mitch, power your dreams.
What
Thanks.
was the ridiculous name that was said in the group chat of the four of us together as a one unit person?
Was it
Isn't it
like
Fitch?
Fitch Carrozza?
Fitch Carrozza.
That is definitely that definitely needs to be a shirt, and God
Carrozza.
knows what could be combined into making that shirt. But yeah, jeez,
Ryan,
You're welcome.
Ryan, do you and I need to sit down and talk about Joan d'Arc, like the video game? Because I will be there. I want to talk about that game. Oh my goodness. I bought it for $3 off of Steam. I need to talk about this game. It's
For
so good.
audio listeners, Fee has been having a conversation with Ryan Turford in the YouTube chat most of the night. I don't think
Okay,
that we
first of all, it wasn't most of the night. It may be like 15 minutes.
the last 20 minutes or so, yeah.
But you know what? I do what I want.
You do what you want. Hey,
We do what we want.
Yes,
you're right about that. We do what we want.
Right.
exactly.
Go Oilers,
Exactly.
go.
And for people who are also watching, Sean's been watching hockey the entire time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sean has been looking to that side of the screen. It's okay. We've all had our own things,
it.
but guess what? We do what we want.
We do what we want.
We do what we want.
Playoffs.
I'm gonna have a very angry wife coming home because my wife, who has the top off of her Jeep and the doors off of her Jeep, it just rained hardcore at her work, and can't wait for her to come home and have a fun conversation. She texted me during the show and she's like, "Can you come get my car?" And I'm like, "No, I'm kind of in the middle of a show." I'm like, "Had you messaged me the 3 hours off work in between the show, I would have been glad to go grab your car and bring it home so it didn't get soaked." But
That sucks.
we do what we want,
We do what we want.
even if the consequences are a 10 p.m. very angry wife.
Is that-
coming home from
did
work
we do
after
the
working
thing?
all day.
We did
That was
it.
it.
Yeah, I think we
do
did the thing. Yeah.
We did the thing from a hotel room here on episode 337 of the Xbox Drive. Thank you, everybody, for listening all the way to the end. I've had a great time chatting with you guys. Tomorrow, I'm going to chat with Victor Lucas, which is very exciting. It's my turn on the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons Podcast, which you can go to patreon.com/carpoolgaming to sign up. We're going to thank our patrons in just a quick moment, as it were. But Mitch, power your dreams. Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you on the internet, my friend?
Yeah, you can find me on X, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, all of the above at MitchPower1116, just like it says right here for you video watchers, not listeners, video you watch with your eyeballs. I'll be playing more Hogwarts Legacy. I'll be playing Apex, maybe with Razzle Dazzle, so you guys can show up and meet Razzle Dazzle, and she's awesome. But yeah, if you want to watch me play Apex or watch me do that, or watch me edit clips, which I do every Monday and Tuesday, or if you have stream questions about how to use OBS or Streamlabs or any of those fun things and dumb things that I do on my stream, you're going to be able to watch me on Monday and Tuesday make a flashbang channel point, which will crank my lights to 100% brightness if you guys redeem a channel point.
That is so good.
That'll be really fun. So come see me do all that stuff, mostly on Twitch, twitch.tv/MitchPower1116.
Nice. Fiona McKinnon, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, you guys can find me here, but you can also find me over on Twitter, also known as X, for under Zeranix, just like what it says right there. You can, for people who are not watching, I just pointed to my name that's currently visual. Sean,
I hate this bit. I hate it.
Sean is,
Get to the plot.
oh my god, I will if you guys stop.
I now know what Lachlan feels like.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Anyway, you
Aw.
can also find me on Twitch, at twitch.tv/Zeranix, because at some point this year, I need to go through and play a bunch of Nancy Drew games. So I'm going to be starting that up very soon. And also you can find me over at Pip, Point in Progress, on Wednesdays, where we just talk about complete nonsense, which is even more chaotic than anything I ever do on the internet. And also coming up this week, you're going to be able to hear me talk about all things Fallout on a spoiler cast that we're going to be posting. If you are a Patreon subscriber, you can check that out. I'm really excited about it. I get to sit down with some fantastic people and talk about all things Fallout for a few hours. So definitely go and check that out. And as a heads up, of course, it is very much a spoiler cast. So we are going to be talking from episode 1 all the way to 8. So please do not come in and be like, you guys spoiled the show for me. It is a spoiler cast.
point.
As a heads up.
We do what we
That is
want.
the point. We do what we want. We do what we want. Sean, where can people find you?
You find me on Xbox Live playing Brotato at Sean Capri, Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants. You can also follow me on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/carpoolgaming live. And honestly, just a metric ton, even an imperial ton, if you like, of content coming to Patreon, patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Those at the exclusive tier and up which is the $5 tier and up. You guys are just getting so much. We can't even cover it in our 2+ hour episode here of the Xbox Drive. I didn't even mention conversation that I had with Fiona McKinnon right up there. We had a little nice little chin wag that went up a couple weeks ago after the Fallout episode that Fee mentioned, a conversation between me and the PlayStation Drive's Foolish Fuji. That's going to go up as we start to look towards May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. So a lovely conversation that will fit right in with May, so you guys can look forward to that. And I think that's it. There's just a ton of content coming to Patreon, which is awesome, as this new chapter is really underway. The shows are jiving. We do what we want here on the Xbox Drive, and it's good stuff. With that, it does bring us to the very end of episode 337 of the Xbox Drive. But before we go, Bowser's got to say where she's from the internet. I usually go last because then I do the thanks. So my apologies for that, Bowser.
Blame Fee. She threw it to you.
Yes.
My bad.
We
I
do what
usually
we
just
want.
roll right into it.
We do what we want.
You can find me on Xbox at Bowser13. And you can find me in the Discord. Come tell me what good story-based action-adventure game I should play next, because I need ideas. I'm in a funk. Okay, thanks, bye.
Don't take it personally when she declines to play the game.
I might just say no.
It's a gaming funk. It's understandable. Can I say thank you to the patrons now?
Yep.
Thank you to everybody who supports us at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Damn near or over somewhere around 100 of you, which is incredible. And I want to say a special thank you to our ultimate producers, Tony Baker, who you can support over at youtube.com/quest4pixels. Jonathan Brown, who I was listening to your music just today, not just here on the Xbox Drive, not just on the PlayStation Drive, but over at linktree/pme.jib. I actually listen to it on Apple Music, which is amazing. You can listen to it on Spotify. It's incredible. You guys owe it to yourself. Treat yourself. Listen to some of that sweet, sweet music. Lee Navarro, who is the fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. Go to phoenixoverdrive.com. Sign up. Join us. Raise the money for those kids. And it's going to be a good time at Extra Life this year. And Cwagmire, who, of course, reminds you that the best babes are Xenobabes. Our platinum producers, the Robby, Bobby Miller, Smokin Joe, and Tim Paullin, and all of our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave, BobLoblaw, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, CowboyDangerD, CrocoKyle, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily O'Kelly, Jan32, Marcus O'Neill, Peje EP, Shane Erickson, Tim, Aulph, and Toxic. Thank you all so much for supporting us at patreon.com. It's going amazing over there. You guys are enjoying a ton of content. You're all incredible. That is the end of the episode of the Xbox Drive 337. I'm going to go to bed in this hotel room, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, night, evening, tomorrow. Goodbye. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye. As I find the clip here.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Xbox Drive. Now, before you drive off, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget that we've got some awesome Xbox Drive merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming for exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description. We'll see you next week.